The lights are on. Wake the fuck up, Ganja. God damn it. Jesus. Always all high. Always all choking and coughing and all that goddamn stuff. He's all sick. I don't know what's going on. I feel sick. But we're here to talk about people getting sick at the end of movies. And well, actually, I won't bring up the whole thing. We'll talk about spoilers later on. But it's Avengers.
First of all, bitch, I'm not sick. I just woke up.
Yes. Wait, what happened?
I'm not sick. I just woke up. There's a difference.
God damn, dude. I'm gonna just make it like I'm gonna be like, dude, don't go back to sleep. You literally, he keeps leaving, by the way, too, folks. Like I don't know what's going on. He's going through something.
Do you want to hear me blow my nose, folks?
Yes.
It sounds very gross and nasty.
Oh no, he did that once.
Wait, you blew your nose once in your whole life?
No, we were God, what were we doing? We're about to set up the Facebook show, right? And he's doing his nose thing. I'm like, please, Ganja, please stop. He's like, oh shit, I didn't know I was muted. Or I'm muted.
By the way, too, over here, I'm looking.
The most powerful Lukey too. It was disgusting.
So
we don't
gross.
need to know that.
We do
don't.
need to know that. You know what else we need to know? We also need to know about what you feel about Avengers Infinity War, Allie. We're going to be talking about that later on tonight, getting a review of that. And then, obviously, we all watched it together, too, at the movie theater. We all literally got plane tickets and then saw this in a very legal way together and then went back home.
But we have to pay for the tickets because MoviePass wouldn't let us see it again.
Oh, that is true.
Howard, you stole that shit.
Have you been seeing that shit on Chill of the Toast? Everyone's just posting, yo, I can't see this movie again. It's like, fuck MoviePass, man.
Yeah, that's funny as shit, though. I love that.
That's such a great idea, bro. You get to see any movie you want multiple times, except for the major hit releases, because guess what? That could make them go bankrupt.
Absolutely. Everything's around
Almost like
money.
they should have charged the premium higher, you know, to actually, you know, be able to subsidize the cost. Fucking
Yeah, but then
dumbasses.
people will still be complaining. And by the way, too, I like how people are still watching the movie. They were watching Black Panther more than once too, and they didn't complain. Oh, but it just really got into fat. Never mind. Sorry, I'm half asleep too. Leave me the fuck alone. But anyways,
My eyes are so red, and it's not because I'm high.
Me and Allie are the only ones that are awake because we had, you know, we did stuff today.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck you both.
yeah, no, oh yeah, you guys did stuff today. Yeah, she's over there watching a fucking movie or whatever, trying to get the show ready.
After
We're
I
looking for
did
you.
a bunch of errands the rest of the day, like, can I relax a little bit?
No.
It's my day off. Dang.
No.
Did you do?
I can't have a day off until I leave for a trip next week. So shoot,
Oh
my
wait,
boss has me working all these
Wait.
sort of hours.
oh she's
What
leaving
do you-
next week too. Another trip. Where are you, Sammy Gonzalez?
I'm going to Atlanta with my mom. I haven't been on a freaking trip in like since last year. Dang it, let me live.
I apologize, but then again, I don't. And I will
He
bring this
needs
up
to
later.
make
on.
it,
So
guys,
sick of
clearly.
seeing my house. I'm so sick of seeing my house.
I just want to point out she's so desperate to leave her house. She's going to Atlanta because she does not like Atlanta.
Well, you don't?
I like parts of Atlanta. I don't like the traffic. The people are kind of interesting sometimes, but like at the same time, they
That's
can be
nice
really
for ghetto.
So
Yeah.
no, not even ghetto. I go to the nice parts of Atlanta. No, I'm talking about the like people who are like super bougie that they go in like their Lamborghinis and and they're like Bentleys and all that. Like they'll really like show their wealth, quote unquote. Like it's probably rented most of the time. But yeah, like that type. I'm not a fan of that type of like environment. But there are some really nice people in Atlanta. So
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, and actually, I was trying to look up some Airbnbs that you're going to be going to, actually, and I actually found one. It's over here.
It is a joke.
And here's great, good-looking, beautiful Atlanta. It's going to be awesome. By the way, just I know I'm making a joke about what's the segue, Alan? 'Cause
Those
that's how
are
we do
so
shows.
many of my friends' house back in Florida.
Yeah, I know. And the same, that looks like one of the houses I lived in, which is not a big deal, by the way. Those are big, so we're making fun of this shit, too. But no, that's probably an expensive house with a big bill, and it's very roomy, lots of walk room. I like it. I'll get that.
Yeah. The ghetto has the greatest housing property, man. It's just has not been snatched up yet.
Plus, too, there's not a bunch of crazy-ass, like, monthly bills for fucking tax and everything, too. Those are, like, $10 a month or something. I like that shit. Anyways, moving on from that. We're going to get into all that stuff. But, Allie, I cannot take your word for nice places. You like the city full of homeless people, and it smells like shit on every corner. I'm sorry, but I fucking hate New York. I don't know how someone as bougie as you that walks miles and miles to go to a fucking place and go to McDonald's for, but yet that place smells like doo-doo. The whole
It doesn't
goddamn...
smell like doo-doo. What are you talking about?
Smells like doo-doo.
Smells like doo
That's a
doo.
good question. At any point when you're having a conversation with Nick.
Smells like doo-doo. Just saying.
It did not smell awful. I don't know what you're talking about.
Homeless
Like
people
we were
running
in.
around, sleeping on garbage
Well,
bags.
well, yeah, you're in a city. I mean, you're gonna get that in any city you go to.
My
but
city's not that bad. I've seen one homeless person in
as
like
any
2 weeks.
major city.
Yeah, come on now.
I
Plus,
live
if they're
Phoenix.
doing it, they can't be in the sun too long or they'll explode.
Phoenix ain't shit compared to the rest of the country, bro.
Yeah, I mean New York is
Go back
like
to sleep, bitch.
so popular.
Y'all like the big poppin' redneck town. Like, yeah, of course y'all poppin', but like,
Okay,
compared to
that's
other
where your
cities,
credibility
y'all-
went
y'all
away
like,
when you
yeah.
said that Phoenix is a redneck town. Boy, do some research. God damn.
Either that or it's you know
It's
a little
anything
like little Mexican town out in the middle of nowhere, man. It's the point is it has no hype or any kind of reason to go down to Phoenix unless you work there.
Damn, I just realized BBM said he stopped
Well,
hating on my city.
I hear that Phoenix and Scottsdale are very nice.
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
is he in New York or is he in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. Or I mean,
No.
city-wise, like,
We're talking about
BBM.
BBM, dude.
okay, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, that was a weird question.
Stop hating on my city. See?
Yeah, but I was wondering because we started talking shit about Arizona, so what's he talking about?
Oh,
Probably
okay.
talking about New York. 'Cause-
All right,
yeah.
Julie. He's not in the middle of nowhere. There's like a Dairy Queen. He's still near civilization.
And Julian's like, Phoenix is totally a redneck town, man. Guys, Google's right in front of your face. It's right, and like it's your fingertips, y'all. Like,
Yeah,
do
but
it.
it's not like Google's gonna be like Phoenix, Arizona, Redneck Central. Like,
No, but like, that's the thing. You're supposed to like just click a couple times too, Alan. Like research. Come on,
hey, I'm
y'all.
not saying one way or another, but I'm just saying like it would take a lot where you have to go through and look all the people and get a phone book and see how many y'alls are in there.
No,
I had a
no.
question for you, Nick. Are you guys like the desert Florida? Because the first thing
No.
when I googled Phoenix, as you said to do, the first thing that pops up was Phoenix man fights wife, ends in officer involved shooting.
Yeah, and New York people thought there was zombie raccoons because they fucking stand up. So I don't know, buddy.
Yo,
like,
this is fucked. Hold on, this is fucked up. Passerby finds woman dead in South Phoenix.
and
Please
also a
ask
news
questions.
story. And also news story. They thought that tiger was a fucking or no, they thought a raccoon was a tiger in New York too. So people are stupid everywhere, man. Like, I mean, that has nothing to do with this. Like, what's
right, hold
redneck
on.
about that?
I love that you're trying.
Who got that?
I know we're just you stay at this point, but now that I'm going deeper into the research of Phoenix, Arizona, the first thing they show for like their tourist community is a cactus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That sounds about right. It's all desert.
Not all desert, no. That's like saying Texas all desert. You know, we're right next to fucking like Las Vegas and fucking like all these other places that are huge booming communities, right?
Hey, desert doesn't just mean it's all sand. Like, it was hot as fucking. And like, if you were to tell me Texas is all or Austin's all desert, I'd be like, yeah, there's cities there, but Jesus Christ, that place is hot.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, not just all sand. Like, yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole time. So now you're on my side. Like,
Yeah.
The real
what the
question
fuck is this argument? Like, we're all.
Oh,
No, no,
we're,
hold
we're
on.
just trying to pick at you because you love your city a lot, clearly. So we're just saying all this stuff. And
No,
you're,
I
like,
actually hate
super
my city,
on
but
guard.
you guys are saying the wrong shit. Like, it's like redneck town. You know, we're full of Mexicans, right? And black people. Like, it's, you know, yeah.
Black people and black people and Mexicans can be redneck too.
Yeah.
Wow, people. Ganja Guru just said that black people and Mexicans are
Hey,
rednecks.
Google it. Google
Moving
it.
on.
No, he's saying that redneck doesn't just mean white.
But I literally quoted exactly a sentence, so it's okay. But
Look
moving
it up.
on.
There are black rednecks. Look it up. It's scary.
It's okay. Anyways, moving on. He's trying to say trailer trash. Yes, there's black people, Mexicans that are trailer trash. I'll fix what he said.
No, I'm
But
talking about Confederate cowboy wearing motherfuckers, bro.
I know,
They
but
exist.
redneck
It's
doesn't
scary.
mean just that. I want to explain redneck to you. And redneck is a racial slur, so we should not be saying redneck many times. Like, I'm just saying, I don't want to say.
Redneck's not a
Not
racial
really.
slur, though.
This is how we start the show, folks. This is
Yeah.
normal for us.
We're not against white people or anything at all, even though we just
Bullshit.
insulted Mexicans and black people saying they're rednecks. Like, wow. Welcome to Asperger Central, folks, where we just are fucking completely out of our minds. But,
Well, redneck is not actually a racial slur, Nick.
oh, so it's a compliment? Well, what's wetback then?
Well, no, wetback is a racial slur, but redneck is not a racial slur. It was a way that poor white people used to identify themselves back in the Appalachian Mountains, because they used to work in the coal mines and used to get like, I guess a rash around their neck from wearing the bandanas from keeping the coal out their mouth.
Man, actually, you know, I will just say I'd rather just take the L than have to explain. Like, I just
Fuck
don't want to say
that.
the word anymore.
You're
Like,
not gonna claim that as a racial slur, bitch. You're not gonna give white people that shit.
no, I get.
So,
I
Al,
get you
how
win.
was
I
your
quit,
day?
like, well, you know, a couple of rednecks came to my store. They were
Hey.
black.
But were they chewing tobacco and a Confederate flag belt? All right, because there's a difference. You gotta look
Oh
for
my
the.
goodness.
You gotta look for the markings, sir.
This should be a community question.
Hey, speaking of rednecks, Red Dead Redemption 2. No, I'm just playing what we're talking
That
about.
is
Man,
actually
that's a
that is
great
a great
segue.
transition.
If it wasn't for the goddamn rules, I would have went with that. But anyways, rules, Ganja. Starting off, we're actually gonna add the first one. Don't say racial slurs on the fucking show. But
Oh, we broke that. How many fucking times?
Man,
Damn.
you should, Go check the Untitled Video Game Show out, y'all. Rule number 1, newcomers join the call first. We're all about those new, fresh fellas faces. Those people popping on for the first time or popping on after hanging out for a while. We love those people, and we love to see you guys too. So let us know in the DMs, PMs, or any way you can contact us. We'll get you guys on the show. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other.
I'm a black guy.
Hey, you might be. Look for the Confederate flag and the cowboy hat. Sometimes there are confused black people out there and Mexicans. Rule number 3, please no nudity, folks. Keep inside your pants. And just, have a good time. Sometimes you don't have to see titty to have a good time. Sometimes you just have nice, wholesome fun or just conversation and bullshit. Rule number 4, did not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show, clearing certain topics, conversations, and bullshit talks we're having with each other. So you hand out the link to anyone else, you're gone, and so's the bitch that clicked it. Rule number 5, read the rules. And Allie, girl, hope your mother isn't there.
Don't be a dick.
Oh, she's not there. Don't be a dick. No dicks allowed when her mom's around.
Man, you don't know how true that is, sir.
You get that out of here. Get that dick out of here.
Just like with a fly swatter and shit. Just smacking him away.
Smacking in front of his friends. No, stop it.
We're super professional, guys. We spend like a week prepping every show.
I will protect my daughter's innocence.
I love the idea of a fly swatter, though.
Professional.
Oh, damn, man. All right. Anyways.
Harley just jumps up and catch one.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. I'm going to get the fuck out of this conversation. Red Dead Redemption. Alan, take it away, sir.
Red Deck Redemption.
Red Deck Redemption?
Red Neck Redemption. That's what we're calling it now.
Red sauce reduction.
Red sauce reduction.
No, man. But you, Alan, I don't know shit about this, brother. By the way, fuck the chat. There's some suck and everything. But
yeah, as usual.
Go ahead.
But yeah, okay, so Red Dead Redemption got its 3rd fucking trailer with still no gameplay, so this is a complete waste of your fucking time. It's just showing more of the world. It showed some in-res cutscenes when they're talking, so we know it's going to be a really beautiful game, but that's par for the course when it comes to Rockstar. I'm not surprised by that. And I guess, I'm not sure if the official release date was confirmed before or after this trailer, but we know it's coming out October 26th. And it seems like, yeah, they're just focusing, like, it's really hard to tell. It's honestly really frustrating because I can't tell what's the scope of this game. Is it going to be exactly like Red Dead Redemption 1, or is it going to be like closer to GTA 5? Is it going to be a bit more closed in, so there's that, even though it's not as big of a map, there's more variety in the places? Because that's my biggest problem with Red Dead. I felt that the map was so big that there was so little to do in it. Where I wanted to kind of fix this, but I really got nothing from this, and it's really frustrating. It's one of those things where I keep saying, if there's no HUD, don't trust it, and I don't trust this game. Like, where's the gameplay?
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I know there's no gameplay, and that's kind of cool because sometimes it's like the gameplay is a bad trailer. It usually makes out to be a bad trailer. I want to see a good trailer. And here's the thing: when we talk about these things, we talk about just the trailer, not about what the game's gonna be or what we think, whatever the fuck. So for story-wise stuff and the voice acting and the little cutscenes they have here, shit looks awesome. But
it's all on point.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's a good trailer. It's just like at this point, I mean, this is trailer number 3. When do you think we're gonna get gameplay? Because at this point, I'm almost like, I don't think we're gonna get any.
E3. It's gonna be. It's gonna start. The Sony press conference is gonna start off with the main character walking up, and it's gonna be like the first 10 minutes of it. It's gonna be just him going through a mission or something.
If you can see quickly how the developers focused on bringing the Wild West to life in a different way that the water attracts onto the surface. Look as the horses walk into and the sand reacts to their footprints.
He's not wrong.
They should do press conferences where people just get on a fucking train and it just rolls around a screen. Like, and if you look to the left, you'll see other shit you could see if you weren't moving. You know what I mean? Like
the voice and everything Ganjo was saying. If you look up the first Red Dead Redemption thing, that's literally how the woman was speaking.
What were you saying, Allie?
It's magical.
It's magical. Yes, it's like
that's
Disney
the word
magic.
Apple loves to use.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no, video games, it's an experience.
Experience.
No, my favorite is when they get the British white lady to do the voiceover. Assassin's Creed's done it several fucking times for their walkthroughs. And it's just like, if you click closely, Altair can actually affect the environment around him by picking up certain items that we told the guy that's playing this game to pick up. You can't pick up any other items except these items that I'm telling him to pick up.
There's so much interaction between the people in the environment. There's so much interaction between the enemies and the environment. Altair can pick up a civilian and throw them into a merchant, destroying their entire livelihood.
Yeah, exactly. And watch as the AI is still as bad as the previous game. No, man.
Hey, only the guard AI. The guard AI has always been trash.
They conveniently make it so when you play a demo of E3, I don't know if they go out and just play the demo as much as they can to find like the best parts of it, where the game doesn't glitch out or get buggy. because in all those E3 demos, hell, even GDC does that shit. They all look clean. Then
Yeah.
you get it, and the shit's buggy as mess.
What did they do is for demos they often make it specifically for a show. Ali's probably remember this, but I think it was last E3 when they showcased Uncharted 4, and the guy fell through the fucking world. Because what happens is there's a situation where he died, but they only made the specific demo for Forward, and they didn't have a checkpoint system in that specific demo, so there was nothing for him to load back into.
Ha!
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even know, man. All I know is like I'm hyped for this. I know it's nothing special. It's barely anything to talk about, really. But it's just like
Right.
I know I like to be reminded that this is coming out. I like that it's October 26th. The thing is, though, is I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford this shit because there's a bunch of games that came out recently that I'm going to buy it later on. And then in September, we get Spider-Man.
Dude.
Yeah, so I mean,
There's
it's like,
so much in September. My wallet's looking at me going, no, dude, we can't do this again.
yeah, it's going to be rough. Over
He's
Draft
gonna-
City.
He's gonna abuse me again, sir. I need help. I need help.
Wow, dude,
'cause
your
it's,
wallet kind of looks like mine except without the corn logo.
Yo, I want y'all to figure out what brand my fucking wallet is just from this logo.
Communist.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Damn, he's gone.
No, it's not. No, it's
No, I
not.
went and got my wallet. I don't know if it's showing on fucking
Oh, this is terrible.
Oh, you,
You fucking nerd.
Oh, shut the hell up. I'm sure yours has a Mario inside of it.
Man, I ain't got shit. This is an adult wallet, bro.
That's not an adult wallet. This is Velcro on it.
Yeah.
Where?
Open
Where
it
the
up.
Velcro
Oh,
at?
shit. Okay, it just looks like
Where the
you just...
Velcro at? I'm about to
It
get
looks
my
like you
cash
skinned
fall
the
out.
lamb. Okay.
It's Velcro in a wallet.
Because we're making it rain on accident.
Oh shit, my money.
All those ones.
Exactly. He's gonna need those.
I said I got a bunch of ones, bro.
No, but anyways, we're gonna move on from this shit.
We
I
do.
gotta talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Trailer number 2. Allie, did you see this?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah. Oh shit. Really? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Look.
I'm like
I really
trying to
enjoyed
remember,
Raid
like,
2.
No, what were you saying, Allie?
I don't know. Whatever. I
One
can't
thing
remember.
one thing I have to bring up really quick is I actually, and everyone's probably already thinking like, yeah, he doesn't fucking like the trailer. Yeah, sorry, I don't. Apologize. But this shit over here, this fight scene was such an example of what this fucking movie, or at least this trailer, was going to be. Because how many movies, Alan, have you seen that do the exact same fucking bit? This over here is actually that's fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp. My bad. I thought I clicked something else. This is Deadpool when he fucking jumps in the car. Same fucking
Yeah.
fight. You know, you brought up something to my attention. The Raid.
Raid 2, which came out before both those. It's one of those things where it's like, as much as it's like, okay, we're doing, and this trailer is indicative of it. It's like we're doing the cool thing of in a car fight scene, and that's done practically. That's all practical effects. I don't know how they did a choreographed fight in a car, but when you see the Ant-Man trailer and the Wasp is like shrinking down and punching people and doing that stuff, and then you see the Deadpool stuff, it's like I like it because it's like the set piece of do it in a car, but you get to see 3 different versions of it, and to me it's like, as long as it's different and unique, I don't care if it's the same kind of idea. Because like the Ant-Man and the Wasp, is like she's going smaller, punching, doing some cool stuff there. I'm like, that looks really fucking cool. Deadpool, he's like, punching and it's flying all around. It's like that looks fucking cool. So it's like, how cool can you make it? And it's like a lot of the action in this trailer looked really cool. As far as the actual flow of the trailer, it's nothing you haven't seen, and it's not a unique trailer. It's just a typical trailer of like, here's a bunch of action, here's the characters, here's the basic idea of the plot. But it looks like they're doing a lot of cool stuff with the shrinking. I like that. They're focusing on that. They're shrinking a lot of stuff. They're increasing a lot of stuff, and it's like I like that kind of shit.
Yeah, no, me too. And it's just for me, I'm just sick of the same shit. I mean, even over here, it's gonna be another example. Hancock. There's another in the car fight. The police chasing him, and then this whole inside the car thing. Like, dude.
Oh, okay.
how
I didn't
many
even notice that.
But how many fucking movies? And they're all in the superhero genre. It's like, it's too much of the same fucking thing. And then on top of the same fucking thing, we get more silly shit being made to be gigantic and it almost killing bad guys. More jokes that don't fucking land. Michael Pena screaming like a fucking bitch. Basically a Mexican Sam Witwicky or Shia LaBeouf. Like,
I don't know about that. He's actually more funny in his time than Sam Wiki was.
He has the thing that they did in Ant-Man, which is like the telling of the story, and he's voicing all the characters, which I kind of like. That it was a bit of like, hey, here's a funny kind of gag of like, we're gonna give you exposition, but it's not gonna be the boring of like, let me just talk like me. It's like, no, we're gonna go through all the characters, and he has great comedic timing.
Yeah, and then
And not like that, like him being some character now that's kind of like a legit like private investigator, and he's just going off of how he robbed him previously. I think that's a great callback towards the previous movie because he was one of the characters that did stand out.
yeah, and then we even get to this point over here too, where I'm not digging this at all, but like this villain, I'm sure she's a villain. She's like this person that runs through walls and shit. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's a cool concept to an extent, but then you get a situation where it's like, okay, it's getting silly. Where it's like I can tell that's the only thing she's doing, and it's so not as impressive as the last 4 villains we've seen Marvel do. Marvel's kind of fixed their villain problem. And here we go, right back to some shit.
It's hard to judge him based on the trailer because it's like Zemo has no powers. Hell, Zemo doesn't throw a fight in the entire movie, and he's like.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna base it off this really quick because I did hate that villain. I think a lot of people did talk okay about him because he was written well, but in my opinion, that was bad. And like you said too, he didn't have no powers, you know. But like I talk about everything after him, they started like fixing the villain problem in a way.
Sure, to a certain degree, but it's like I'm just waiting to kind of see the movie because like as much as I kind of like Hela, say Thor Ragnarok, which came out afterwards. As much as I kind of like Hela, it's like she had her moments, but I felt like they were too busy doing it too jokingly to make her more threatening. And it's like I want to. This is me making me see more of the movie because it's like okay, it wasn't just 1 or 2 cool action. We have cool action with the whole movie.
Exactly, yeah. So, but with this said, and all the shit that we brought up in the sense of like me being bad, you talking shit, Alan saying good things, Allie, I was gonna ask you, be the person of normalcy, and what do you think about this? Hopefully, people will get off my ass. But yeah, what do you think?
I think it looks fun. I'm more excited to see it now, just because like I wasn't really into the first one. At least like seeing it in theaters. It was actually Ant-Man was the first Marvel movie I didn't see in the theaters because I just wasn't all that interested. And then like afterwards, when it was out on Blu-ray, I rented it and I was like, you know what? Actually, this is really fun. I kind of like this, and it's not a train wreck like I thought it would be because of the directors changing. So like when this one comes along, I'm like, you know what? This looks like a lot of fun, and it looks like it could be really funny. And I really like oh god, what's the main actor's name?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Thank you. I really like Paul Rudd, and I really like Evangeline Lilly from the last movie. So like having them have their like star in their own movie together, that's really great.
Sick.
Yeah. I think I really actually love his shtick with like getting bigger and smaller and all of that. Like I actually think it's pretty hilarious and creative the way they use different objects and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they didn't have in the trailer, like if there's anything else that they add in. Honestly though, like after the Avengers, I'm just like, I really want to just see the next Avengers movie. Or Captain Marvel. I can't go from like that bombshell to like, hey guys, Ant-Man the Wasp. That has nothing to do with the Avengers, really.
It's before, apparently.
Hey, is it before?
Yeah, apparently how the timeline is. It's after Infinity War. Can we really have a movie that's not like explain? Like basically, apparently what it is, it's after Civil War, but it's before Infinity War.
So why didn't they just do Ant-Man before Avengers?
Thank you so much.
Like, wouldn't that make more sense? Because like
Black Panther was before then, so they'd have to have not Black Panther then.
Oh, everyone lost their mind, man.
Yeah, they would have had to essentially not have Black Panther.
Just have Avengers come out later.
Just have Black Panther where it is. Put Ant-Man where Avengers was supposed to be, and then release Avengers later on, like maybe even in the fall or the summer. Like, yeah, like why couldn't
they probably don't want to trample in its other products because now you got like the Disney products coming out. You got their Star Wars products that are overlapping now. Like hell, they just overlap now. Black Panther is still in I think top 5 or top 10.
Oh,
and
Didn't they delay or move up? They changed the spot of Infinity War because they didn't want to interact with the Solo movie. And Black Panther ties directly, like not directly per se, but it's more closely related to Infinity War, so it makes sense to just have those in the same run. It's like this movie's.
So then have Ant-Man before Black Panther, and then have Black Panther, and then Avengers. Doesn't that make more sense?
Having three Marvel movies in that close, I think they're worried about oversaturation.
Oh, I have an idea. How about let's not release so many fucking Marvel movies? Like
no, but they already have them so close together. So either way, all you have to do is just change the order.
I mean,
why didn't they do that?
I'll put it like this: it's just as dumb as when Black Panther debuted in Civil War instead of actually letting us fucking have his own story instead of having to be in a spot that really didn't mean shit. I'm sorry, I know people yelled at Alan, but I agree with them 100% that Black Panther in Civil War was not good. It was not good.
It was fine. but it was just a way for everyone to get introduced to his character and to see how the reaction would be. Like that was really mainly for like, is he marketable? Like, is he plausible to have his own movie? Like it was just the studio kind of testing the water before they went ahead and did a Black Panther movie.
Right.
So or like really went through with it, or how much like they put into marketing or whatever. And because of how positive a response he got, then they were more confident to put in a lot more into marketing Black Panther and all of that. So I get why he's in that movie. I mean, if anything else, Spider-Man, he didn't really need to be in the Civil War either, if you want to say
He had
that.
more of a reason.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought it was still awesome. Like, I thought they did some of the best parts, and so I'm okay with it. Like, yeah, sure. They could have both been not in the movie, and it would have really been the same exact way it panned out. But just having those two characters just made it so much more of an experience. So
I see your point.
Yeah,
but Ganja, you're being over there all quiet and everything. I'm so sorry over there. He's all sleepy. Like, man, we can talk about the goddamn thing.
I was just looking into the computer screen, like, man, what are colors?
They're wavelengths of light.
But what do you think about this, brother?
Me personally, I think the movie's going to start off strong. I love that the fact it takes it more seriously. It is kind of like the Deadpool of the Marvel universe in the sense that they don't take themselves seriously and they do joke around with a lot of stuff that's happening within the universe. And the characters are kind of amazed at stuff that they can do, or either they're not jaded as a lot of the Avengers heroes are, in the point that they're kind of used to all this mystical crap and all this like super sci-fi stuff. So it kind of makes the audience feel like they're still getting a refreshing of like, wow, the world's still magical and things can happen. And them using a lot of these small items as like kind of like either blockers or attacks actually adds to the characters, because if we just had like the comic book Ant-Man where he just rides ants and he goes big and small, that could get redundant real quick. But the fact that they made his powers accessible to like certain objects and items, now it expands his character to do more and more crazy stuff with the idea of shrinking stuff, because he can use certain items to that advantage. Like to the whole point of that Salt Shaker can block the fucking whole door, and that's just made out of glass, so that really knocked that dude's ass off his ass.
That killed him.
I hope it didn't, but in the real world it would kill him. But in the movie, it just knocks you out because movie logic. But I like that idea of how it's gonna be like these little race cars going against these giant cars. At any moment, this dude could turn into a giant semi, and I think that's a cool aspect to it. Especially, it might lower the danger aspect to it because you won't know these characters are constantly in danger because they kind of get out of it with their small factor or just using one of the gadgets. But It's entertainment, and I think it adds towards the CGI work. And I actually can't wait to see how they do these ants effects. So it looks like they're gonna bank on this giant ant having a fucking pointed to it. It might be.
How did I miss that in the trailer? Because that's the single stupidest thing in this trailer.
Well, no,
I love that shit.
It was so stupid.
Ants have exoskeletons. Their outer skeleton would be too large. If they got that big, they wouldn't be able to move.
Alan.
This is comic books. Like,
he threw a
no, we can't say that in a movie that actually uses a lot of its shrinking
but
with real size. Come on,
Alan. But no, at the same time, this is why I always get mad about the contradiction stuff, because you can't say that about the ant if you're willing to accept that he got a Hello Kitty fucking little Pez dispenser and made that shit turn into a giant
because making it, but that thing's not a fucking living animal that can move. Like that's just a big
Ant-Man
thing.
is a living thing that goes up and down. And
yeah, but
how about this?
Okay, my point is that specifically with ants and crabs, they have a thing on outside. They're called the ectoskeleton. They're inside. They're squishy as shit. That limits their size, which means they can't get any bigger. We're people. We can get bigger and no problems because we have skeletons to support us. An ant doesn't.
But wait, ants do grow though, right?
Only to the size there. The bigger ones are the queens that don't really move too much, and they get to maybe like that big, like a couple inches. Anything bigger than that, they can't move. It's too heavy.
I'm gonna be honest, I know it's gonna sound very cocky right now, but I think that we are the only channel talking about this fucking ant.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm in Julian. Okay, Mr. Science.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm just saying they managed to in the first one talk about the shrinking really well.
Alan, this is the type of shit that makes me want to throw eggs at Neil deGrasse Tyson. When I'm trying to enjoy a movie, he just wants to shit all over it, even though it was a good movie and tried his best.
Hey, they got the shrinking down. The shrinking works. Like that's perfectly within science. The growing is the problem.
Yeah, growing for you is the problem as well.
Oh, fuck you, motherfucker.
Oh, I was gonna say, where's my basket of fruits, but I think you just hurt his feelings enough.
I know. I'm so sorry. No,
what? Where's my basket of fruits?
Yeah, actually, I don't know what that means either.
I was gonna throw some tomatoes at your ass.
Oh, okay. That's okay. He's tired.
God damn it. Wow.
Alright, we'll move on. God damn. No, but yeah, I actually agree with him. I think the Anne thing's stupid too. By the way, I'm not. You're not alone with this. It's just I'm not gonna explain why to that degree. But that's just me, because I'm not smart. Actually, that's pretty much the reason why. Now, moving on. We are talking about this. Actually, not we. It's gonna be once again you, Alan. By the way, props to Alan for even.
Did I have to be here? Because it seems like the Allen show right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm thinking, like.
Don't tell people that. They'll get mad at me.
No, because the thing is, dude, like you really, you got the whole show ready. Like I only added like one thing or a couple things, but you bringing up the John Woo thing, I know nothing about John Woo except for that fucking video game.
Stranglehold.
Hey, did y'all see that? A picture just flew by.
Oh shit! Yo, we gotta get guns out, man.
Yeah, the doves and the fucking so many weird things.
Hey, he also made Face Off and what was the other movie?
If we ever do the action movie, it'll be all of us posing with guns. Instead of a bunch of white birds or doves flying by, it'd just be Penelope's little parakeet ass.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're a fan of John Woo, correct, Alan?
Yeah, I love the fuck out of Hard Boiled. That's like one of my favorite movies.
He loves himself a hardball egg, boy.
What?
Dude, you literally said like, God damn, dude, I fucking love hard, and I was like, whoa.
I fucking love a hardball egg, bro.
How do I do this show with y'all every fucking week?
Oh man, no, go ahead though. Tell us why you're
Anyway.
by John Woo.
Again, I'm liking Netflix because they're getting a lot of foreign action movies and they're putting it on their platform. Because I went through and I just found a bunch that I can't wait to finally get through now that I have free time. And then someone actually sent me this trailer because they know how much I like fight choreography. And it's like, yo, John Woo returns with Manhunt, and you see it, you're like, okay, this is the typical action movie stuff, but it's John Woo, so it's gonna be a mix of cool martial arts and cool gunfights. Because you kind of see at one point, you know, there's two women and they have their pistols and stuff, and it's like that reminds me of the, you know, in Hard Boiled, the first fight in the kind of Chinese restaurant wherever it is. So I'm just super excited to see John Woo back. Just and it's on Netflix, so it's gonna be a lower budget, so it'll probably work towards him where it's like he can just focus on making cool action.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, like I said, it's not a lot to say about it other than, yeah, this dude has done some good shit. I'm glad that he's coming back to this too, but then I was actually going to ask you, like, does this have anything to do with Manhunt the video game? Because I feel like around this time, no, because when I first saw that, I was like, dude, oh shit, they're bringing back Manhunt, this is awesome. It didn't seem anything like the game.
No, because because Manhunt, like, this is nothing to do. There's a thing called on Netflix right now, it's called Manhunt, Hunt for the Unabomber. Like, Manhunt's just a term they throw for, so it's like, it's not really anything to do with the game.
I feel you, Nick. I feel you.
No, seriously, dude, I want that fucking movie. God, I've been waiting forever since Resident Evil was doing this shit.
No, Nick, that movie would never be made. I'm letting you know right now.
No, that's just a horror movie.
No,
it's Jason.
All right, here's the thing with that: is the Manhunt. The whole premise is really fucked up, and we're not in that era anymore of these dark horror movies. A lot of those things are going straight to Netflix, or going straight to like these on-demand services. Where this is going to be like one of those movies that has to have a kind of theatrical budget, but I don't know any studio that's going to want to take on this whole aspect of the character's goal is to kill as many people in the most gruesome ways fucking possible, and we need a decent-sized budget to do this.
I mean, from what little I played of the game, it's like all on like CCTV type shit like that. I could see Blumhouse doing this in a minute.
Blumhouse could probably do it. That's probably one of the only studios I think could probably pull it off.
Yeah, which I would love that, but I was mad that this
$20 million budget, you'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I was bummed that
That's actually a good point because Blumhouse has done some horror films that's similar. Because Nick, I remember you probably played a few of these levels, but do you remember when you fight Big Man and that shit just turns to a horror game out of nowhere?
Actually, no, I did not actually. But yeah, I didn't get far in this game. It was more so a concept for me than because I only got like fucking one thing done in the game.
Oh, I beat the game.
Yeah.
JP brings up a point. It's not exactly the same, but like the Saw movies.
True, that's one. And hey, I hate to say this just because of wrestling, but Evil with Kane, that's a Manhunt fucking video game for sure.
The violence wasn't as gratuitous. You had the one guy that got his eyes poked in, but like Manhunt, you're choking people with bags, you're pulling like broken glass and just cutting people's throats. Like it's almost like if it didn't have a decent storytelling and the whole point of the game was you're not supposed to enjoy this gratuitous violence because it makes you a sadist and an evil person. That's why you killed the boss at the end of it, who is the guy that's in charge of the Manhunt snuff films. Mm-hmm. Like the point of the story is not to be celebrating the violence. And even the second one touches on like, no, this is not good. This character is not a good person doing all this.
The second one's trash.
One thing that I thought that was going to be kind of like that was actually Don't Breathe. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was back in the year of horror movies all having 2 syllables.
Yeah, well, that kind of happens all the time. But yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. And yeah, like, Don't Breathe was fucking, you know, I only saw some of this too, so that's why I'm talking about it a lot. Got to see the whole fucking thing. But it was creepy as shit. When I saw the trailer and I saw Corey talking about it from Double Toasted, I was like, dude, this is literally like Manhunt. I can't fucking wait. Unfortunately, it wasn't that. But goddamn, I want another big horror movie character that's not like a weird monster thing that kills people like crazy. What's up?
Well, if you want to do the Manhunt series, you have to do the storyline from the second one, because you have the guy that's a psychiatric patient who is one of these like likable dudes. He's kind of like doesn't know what's going on, and there's like hints that he's just trying to survive. And then there's one character that you find out later is a split personality of himself, but it is basically just this most ruthless asshole. He was basically like Trevor, if Trevor was actually a real person and just didn't be chaotic for no reason. And the whole second plot game is you trying to figure out, like, oh, wait, this character is me. I've been doing this shit the whole time. All those brutal killings this guy's been doing, that's been me. I've been fighting myself this whole time. And at the end of the game, you literally have a like psychotic breakdown to where you have to fight your two ids. And I think that's a good idea in the sense of like trying to show the complex of these serial killers with schizophrenia that sometimes aren't two people within the same body that don't have control of their actions.
Yeah, but it goes too much into the whole like, oh, like they're all evil, like they're all like demonic. But I think you could do the first game because it's like, again, it reminds me of The Running Man, where it's like we're televising this, you know, this brutal murder spree. It's like I think you could easily do the first one as long as
that, and the first guy is a prisoner who was on death row.
Yeah, so just death row.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this movie though. I'm glad to see John Woo do his thing again. I'm actually not a huge fan of him, but man, hopefully if Alan likes it, I'm watching this.
Hey, I'll check it out. It comes out Friday, so.
Yeah, I know Netflix is starting to come back up. Anon's coming out on Friday as well. I cannot wait for Anon.
That movie's gonna be trash. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you, bro, but that movie's gonna be trash.
Watch Dogs a movie, Alan. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I didn't stutter.
Fuck you. Anyways, moving on. This will be very quick. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. No, I've been meaning to throw this, and I'm glad he's in the chat. Julian, throwing this shit in your face too, bitch. And you, Alan. And technically to you too, Ganja, in a way. But Call of Duty... Because you talked shit before, you probably don't remember.
Actually, get that. I love that. I don't know if that's the actual article. Actually, gets an update 3 years later.
No, that wasn't the name of the actual article, and I actually forgot to put the article up. But trust me, this is true, and it really all it tells you is like the guns that you got and shit like that. But sure. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 came out in 2015, and they're actually coming out with more shit. And they've been doing that once a year. They came last year, Christmas of last year. And they did the zombie thing where they remade a shit ton of the best fucking maps from the old Treyarch video games.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Everyone always says, oh, I hate Call of Duty. I hate fucking sticking with Call of Duty because they only support it for a year and they don't fucking do it anymore. And I'm like, dude, that happens sometimes, but sometimes they don't. And one of these days they're going to do it constantly because they have 3 different companies doing it, which that game doesn't have just 1 year of life. It has 3 years of life until their actual, like, to the company's sequel comes out. Like, Sledgehammer Games will make a game, and then it will come out with, like, the new Call of Duty from them for another 2 years, 2.5 years. And now Treyarch is doing this with Black Ops 3, where we're about to get a Call of Duty from another company, like, I think in 2 months, and we're still doing shit for 2015. I'm fucking hyped. This is cool as shit. And I just wanted to bring this up in the sense of, like, does this win you over at all, Alan? Is this something that you find pretty cool? They're finally undoing shit that people used to complain about Call of Duty in that sense. How are you feeling about it? And, yeah.
Call me when they bring back One in the Chamber. Till then, fuck them.
Hey,
also,
Ring. They brought it back. Ring.
Seriously?
Yes, they brought it back for, like, the last 2 games.
No, it's not in Black Ops 3. I remember that. That pissed me off.
Well, that wasn't the last 2 games. That was 3 games ago, I think.
So, okay, Black Ops 3 does, like, okay, because Infinity War and the other ones, they ruined One in the Chamber. I want specifically One in the Chamber, the actual one from the Black Ops games, because that's where they first introduced it. Call me when that fucking happens. Okay. But as far as this, it's like, this isn't a normal thing for Call of Duty. This is an anomaly because this is the most popular one. Like, Black Ops 3 is still the most popular Call of Duty. I don't know how World War II did. I don't know if it brought it back to, you know, as good as it used to be. I didn't even look into it. But Black Ops 3 is, Black Ops 3 or Call of Duty, Black Ops 3. It's the most popular. It's one of the most popular ones. That's why it's keep getting the support because other Call of Duties, no one's playing Advanced Warfare or Infinity War. They're probably still playing World War II because it's the new hotness, but no one's playing anything before that. And this is super rare because they probably still see they have the analytics, they have the servers up. They're like, wow, more people are playing this than our new one. Well, I guess let's make sure this still keeps going because it keeps getting us money.
That's true. I mean, I was going to ask you too, and I guess ask Ganja, because Ganja, have you played Call of Duty, or have you been into Call of Duty back in the day?
I played Call of Duty 1, 2, and then the Modern Warfare, but after that, the games got very repetitive for me, and I was not a fan of the whole military aspect of the Call of Duty series, because I thought it was like for redneck kids to kind of pretend to want to be military.
Yeah, no, redneck kids, God, man, Actually, no, I'm not. I was gonna make a joke from earlier on the show, but I'm not gonna do it. Just fuck it. I'm not.
They choose Skull and they got the Confederate flag. They don't
Oh,
need to.
Jesus. But you, Alan, what does a Call of Duty franchise need to do to get you back? Except for One in the Chamber, because for me, I'm like, wait, are you fucking joking? That shit was terrible. But
To me, the reason I'll explain why I love One in the Chamber, because this will go into my further point, is because you get this kind of shitty pistol, not a good pistol, not like a a revolver where it's super powerful. It's kind of just a shitty pistol, not good aim, not good range. But the thing is, it's a one-shot kill. So when you shoot somebody, they instantly die and you get a bullet. And it basically really taught you how to aim and under pressure. And for me, I'm always running around, so it's like quickly, fast, pop, shoot somebody, and they're already, you get a bullet or you die. And I love that. It was so much fun. I remember in Black Ops 2, I clocked in probably 40 hours on this one game mode alone, and I had such a good time with it. But to me, it's like the thing about Call of Duty is I loved it so much because it was so outside the typical Call of Duty thing. A lot of Call of Duty is just, to me, I really feel like there's not so much as no skill, is that there's very little skill required. It's like, just get the most powerful gun, just, either camp in one area or just, run around and just shoot until, either the team deathmatch is over or you do something cool like Search and Destroy, which requires a little bit more strategy. But I feel like there's not enough tech in the game to make it more strategy, and they'd have to redo the entire game. They'd have to turn it into Battlefield, the series that I love, where it does take a lot of the first-person aspects. It does do a lot of the similar stuff. But the amount of tech in just a simple, hey, all the bullets in the new one have bullet drop, which means you can't just shoot and hope it hits from across the map. You have to actually do it because as bullets sway, bullet hit. People die in 2 or 3 rounds, so you have to actually be more careful with single shots. Like, there's so much nuances in the game that add to the strategy of the overall game. That's like, there's nothing Call of Duty could do besides maybe make the zombies cooler, which is something I might play.
yeah, and I feel like they have done that too. I mean, I don't know.
Sure.
But yeah, just so. I guess there's no really topic here. It's just I am really surprised that they're still doing this because, games like Team Fortress 2, I think the reason why people love those so much is because they do keep working on it. I mean, I still think, to this day, I deleted it, but I'm pretty sure Team Fortress 2 is probably doing an update today. Like, every single day. Yeah, and it's almost too many updates, and almost too many patches, and too much shit. It's like, make the fucking game already. Like, stop fucking with me.
Well, it's
cool
not
to
even
see
that. They're updating, they're adding stuff. It's not like the game's broken. The game's been fixed since its inception. But it's like, hey, we're adding a couple new hats, we're adding couple new outfits, we're adding this, we're adding that. It's more of just, again, this idea of people saying that updates are because the game isn't finished. Like, that happens, but that's not a one rule for all. Like, sometimes, yeah, the game hasn't been finished, but sometimes they're like, just adding stuff. Battlefield 1 was fine on release, but they've been updating it once a month since. Just game fixes and just adding in random stuff, just, hey, we added in some new guns, we changed this, we changed that, we added, some stuff to there. It's like, and Team Fortress 2 does that a lot, but it's like the core game is still good. It's the core game in a lot of different game modes. It has the opposite problem that Overwatch has, where Overwatch, to me, feels it feels like Call of Duty. It feels like the Call of Duty version of Team Fortress 2, where it's just the same thing. There's one game mode, and I feel like there's not that much strategy. Where with Team Fortress, there's so much different strategy because people play so differently. There's a character in Team Fortress 2 that's just a spy, and all you are is invisible and backstabs. That's your entire character, but you can do so much with that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I feel the same way. I feel like the characters are just, cosmetics on like a particular type of character you can play on any other first-person shooter. I mean, one game that I will say that's actually fucking different with the characters and the shit that they actually do is Time Splitters 2 and shit like that, which we had an old co-host on here that used to talk about that shit all the fucking time.
I know.
But for good reason, you know what I mean? Because the game was actually fucking amazing. I think that was one of the last ones that actually was that good. But moving on, though, I've been trying to hold it. I did not want to talk about this yet because it's going to take so fucking long. That's not what she said. It makes no goddamn sense, Alan. It makes no fucking sense.
It did to somebody.
It makes sense to me, Alan.
It's the Avengers!
It's the Avengers. Goodness. Holy shit, how did Disney allow this war?
Exactly. I like how Allie, I know Allie's actually excited to talk about this, but that did not get that across. I just, yeah. But the thing is, man, God, there's so much shit to talk about. Now, before we even continue, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get something going here. People, if you guys want to get into the call, let me know. This is going to be your chance to give us your reviews, too. Hopefully, this doesn't take too long. I know a particular man named Julian Hemmond Dingleberry sent me a message, wanted to get in. I'm going to bring you in.
Dude!
Dude, it's fucking amazing. It's
when that dude did the dude thing,
Dude, man. That's fucking ridiculous.
Also,
you're right. Duffman needs to be an Avenger.
Before we get into the spoiler, as we're trying to add people on and you're getting in contact with people that want to come on, did y'all hear the rumor that Mark Ruffalo actually spoiled the ending like a year ago?
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that happened.
What?
People were talking about that the day it happened.
Did he go on The Talking Dead?
Now that was amazing too. Robert Kirkman spoiled that shit on purpose. The guy who created it did it on purpose because he thought people wouldn't believe it. Fucking
Walks
amazing.
onto the Talking Dead. By the way, the Avengers, the next Avengers.
No, but Mark Ruffalo apparently, and it's funny because Don Cheadle was right next to him, and he's like, "What the fuck, man?" Like,
He just goes up, pulls the Kanye West, like everyone dies at Avengers, and John Cena's like, what?
it's funny though. It sold it though because Mark Ruffalo was talking about how he was nerding out. Mark
Cuts to
Ruffalo,
Robert Downey Jr. eating a sandwich in the back.
yeah, exactly. But Mark Ruffalo was so into talking about Avengers. People were like, "Hey, is there gonna be any like crazy deaths like in these other movies?" And he's like, "Oh shit!" Like he got hype. He got really hyper and really excited. He's like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be so great, man! Man, like everyone's dead." Oh, and like literally, John Cheadle's like, "Dude, what did you do? Stop!" Like,
No, that's how you roll with it and be like, yo, man, everyone dead. Batman showed up and killed everybody. That's how
Yeah.
you fix that.
yeah, but he just stopped. I think they almost did that shit on purpose because he's an actor. He probably acted that shit.
No,
Dude, he's one of those people
he's done that before, where he spoiled things from movies or given certain aspects away of the movie. This is kind of his thing. He's not very smart at interviews.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
it's one of those things where he's not like the preppy, like, well, I'm an actor. I've been doing this for 20 years. He's just like a regular guy that is in a high-profile position. He's as excited as we were. Imagine if Ganja was the Hulk. He'd be like, oh, man, Avengers is so great, man.
I would have deleted my Facebook and Twitter account. I don't know
Oh,
if I keep
probably,
it
but
secret,
because
yeah.
you said so. No, they would have forced you to delete it because you did some stupid shit.
I would try to sneak my costume and shit. Like, guess who the fuck I am? Just like a little bit of the collar and shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yo, Julian, how you doing, sir?
Hello.
Hello, man.
Julian!
So did Thanos? So how did you fare with Thanos?
Oh yeah, Thanos. Did Thanos kill me or whatever the fuck.com?
Yeah.
I forgot what that was.
No, I lived. I was spared.
Damn it!
Oh shit! Is it really easy to get through? Take the test, or whatever? Or, what is
It's not even a test. You just load it up and it just says, "Yo."
It's I think it's a randomizer.
Oh, okay, it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up and see.
It's just for fun. There's nothing to it. It's a 50-50. It's like, hey, did you make it? Did you not?
Yeah, because I want to see what the chat says too. Like, hey, people in the chat, let us know if the Thanos killed you. And I can't find this. Oh well. But
Oh, I know Cedric is gone with his battery checking ass.
Aw.
What?
yeah, I actually like that Cedric. Every time Cedric actually posts some kind of like snapshot, of something or a news story, and someone has like a thing, he's like, yeah, 57%. That's terrible. It's better
Oh,
than most.
yeah.
But what the fuck?
Dude,
The like 89 one time. He's like, good thing giving that charge, buddy. I'm like, okay.
Dude, legit. Like I was waiting for my phone to die so it could restart and update all the apps when I turn it on again, and it was like at like 4 or 5%. I was like, man, I'm gonna fuck with Cedric real quick. Screenshot, share.
Yeah, I do that too, man. I'll post like a picture of like, oh, my phone is dying. Better post a picture and send it to Cedric.
Hey, sometimes that's the last thing you got, man. I got this joke and I got another hour. It'll be dead by then.
Oh man! But people, we are here now. I'm gonna ask both Julian and Allie what they thought of this. And Allie, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with you. Damn, this trailer likes to stay dark for a lot. Too many fucking fades. Anyways, you, Allie, what'd you feel about the Avengers? Infinity War.
Well, where do I start? Oh man.
It's just
Yo,
like swoon.
like I am swooning over this movie. Like, I think everyone knows who's watched the show for a while that how I've been more of a DC fan. Just in general, not really with the movies except for Wonder Woman. But still, like DC is like where my heart is. Until this movie came across, and I was like, yeah, forget DC. Like, this is the real shit right here. Like, this movie blew my mind. I was just like, I did not expect for it to be first like as dark as it is, and just the way that like the pacing, there was just really very minimal slow moments. Like it really was just like we gotta get going, like keep on top of it. There was not a moment that was really uninteresting to me. And just seeing, especially if you've been with the series all the years since it started, and you really know all these characters and all of that, like, and I mean, for someone who is a casual Marvel watcher, they might be a little bit like detached, but at least for I think all of us have seen all of the Marvel movies. Like it really, we didn't really need that extra development, so it's just like thrown in and just seeing all these characters interact with characters they have never interacted with was just really awesome. And like the actors just meshed so well with everyone as well. It wasn't just like the characters, but man, I gotta say, like Thanos, so
They managed to pull it off.
Killmonger. I'm like so close. Like I'm really surprised how good of a villain he is in this. I really did not expect him to be as deep and complex as he was, and you actually end up like feeling bad for him in some parts, and you actually understand his motivations. In his mind, he's doing the right thing, and technically, if you look at it from Thanos' point of view, he really is the good guy. And you think about it, like the Avengers are all just like obstacles for him to like, in his way, from him actually like saving the universe as a whole. So in that way, it's just like, I think he's such a unique character, and something that we haven't really seen before. And DC should have done that, but they didn't. But seriously, like I just absolutely loved Thanos. I can't. There's nothing really bad I can say about this movie. If anything, the only quip I would have about it is like the part where they're making Thor's new hammer. That's the part where I kind of like a little bit not lost me, but I was like, okay, this maybe could have been shortened a little bit, but literally, I think this is damn near like a flawless movie for me. I just like the action was amazing. Acting was amazing as well. Like Tom Holland got me at the end. I was just like, man, I can't. But yeah, seriously, like this is my favorite Marvel movie. This is one of my favorite comic book movies as a whole. Is it the Dark Knight level? No.
How?
No, I don't think.
What?
It's very close. Dark Knight still beats it for me. Like, it's still one of my like the top spot, definitely. But Avengers is like right down there. Like, it's really close.
Oh, well, shit, she gone.
Oh, damn it, Thanos!
Oh shit! I thought Mike and I.
Yeah, I know, me too.
In it. So I was like, I got Black Panther, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, like Iron Man. Like, hey, I'm good. This is definitely better.
You better be good, but your interconnection wasn't.
Yeah, your shit turned out. I was like,
Dick, I don't feel good.
I know Allie's like, I don't want to go.
Stop it! No, don't remind me. This movie, like, I never realized how attached to all the characters I was until this movie happened. So I like at that moment I was like, dang, I really do love this universe a lot. It just really made me realize until you lose it, actually, how much you really, really appreciate it, and all the work and effort they put into it. And it's just like, this is such a unique, like, I don't know, just experience of being able to like have all of these years lead up to this. Like, this is definitely like better than Sex. Like, I don't know, what's our highest ranking one? Like, Buy It, above Buy It. Like,
Kill a Man.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, like, I loved it. That's all I gotta say. Like, It was amazing.
Now, Julian, you, Mr. Himmendinger. Now, I wish I fucking pulled this shit up. I watched the Stardust reaction like the next day after you did it. This dude was like crying. Like, man, that was a hilarious.
It was terrible.
I was acting it up.
No, I know. But yeah, like I love that shit. But no, go ahead and give us your review, man.
So I'm pretty much in the same, like, I don't want to repeat like a bunch of the things that Allie said. The only thing that like I think that I guess would put me in a minority, because I've heard people complain about it, one of my favorite parts of the movie is when they make Thor's hammer. I was losing my shit. I was laughing so hard at the compositing effect that they were doing on Peter Dinklage. And then, like, a lot of that dialogue was amazing. It'll only kill me if I die. That's
not how it works.
Yeah. And just, there were several parts in the theater, because I have this big thing. I fucking hate when people scream during the movie. So I'm just there like that. And one of the moments that was happening was when the fucking shit is happening and Groot's like, oh, let me make a handle. I was like, what the fuck? Yes. Like, every time Spider-Man did something awesome, or like, I don't know, there's too many things to mention, but just the one thing that I think sums up why I love this movie is the scene on Titan.
Clean up, man.
What?
Man, those are some deep.
No, dude, the scene on Titan when all the Guardians are there and Spider-Man and Iron Man, they're all holding Thanos at the same time. That's why I fucking woke up this morning, ladies and gentlemen. That is why I want this fucking movie, because we're seeing all these characters just coming together and being themselves. Like, yeah, like 10 out of 10. And I would say that this is on par with The Dark Knight, only because The Dark Knight is a different type of film. They're not competing with each other. These are apples and oranges. And I would even say that fucking Winter Soldier's a tomato because I love it just as much. Also, I don't know what that means, but it's great.
I was gonna say,
You know what?
motherfucker,
Actually,
no sense.
you know what? Actually, I went back recently to watch The Dark Knight. I actually haven't watched The Dark Knight in probably like a good 2-3 years or so.
Shame.
No, I like one of my favorite movies. What I like to do is I like to actually watch it sporadically, every once in a while, not all the time, because I like to feel like a fresh new type of take on it every time I see it. I like to really appreciate it and just soak it in, because then I know I'm gonna put this in the back burner and not touch it for like another year.
Are you watching a movie or cooking a steak?
No, I'm more like, you know, like how your grandma or grandpa will like suck on that bone or something. That's the movie I like. So I'll just sit there
Fuck does
chewing
that?
on the bone until there's no marrow in it left.
What does that mean? I come in here and dirty shit's happening. What's going on now?
No, that's actually not. Surprisingly enough.
I just wanted to.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Allie.
At the same
Okay.
time, guys.
Well, I just wanted to finish my point. When I went back to watch The Dark Knight, there are actually a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
that
Surprisingly enough.
you know, it's kind of actually like kind of right with Julian. It kind of is on par, at least like with the pacing and the way that it like the feeling is. Of course, like the Joker makes it dark. Some of the elements are dark in it, especially the ending. But they actually kind of, you know, they really complement each other. Like, if you're doing like a double feature, yeah, they are actually kind of the same tone if you think about it. Avengers is a little bit more funny, yes, in parts, but then they still have some extremely dark moments. Like, people are getting killed left and right. Like, so it kind of balances out to being almost on equal footing. And both are still really fun, even though they can be really depressing to watch. So
Same time, and end it with Land Before Time and just ruin your night.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but moving on though, Jenny, you're actually in the car right now too. I want to go and get your quick opinion and rating of Avengers: Infinity War as well. Go ahead.
All right,
Computer betrays her.
Before
Not as
China
good
takes
as
over.
Power Rangers.
Okay, well it's worse when y'all interrupt me. Like, no, go ahead, Jenny.
Alan, how dare you? But no, you're so mean to me. No, this honestly was really great. I saw it in a theater that was really loud and raucous, especially once shit started going down in like the second half of the third act, pretty much. Yeah, it blew my mind, like all this stuff. I was talking to my friend yesterday who saw it with me, and we're both like, oh my god, I think we both need to go back just to digest, because there's a lot happening, and like I need to see it again, because when you see it the first time, it's just like, wow, holy, it's like new. So like you can't grasp everything because it's just all new in your face. Maybe getting a repeat viewing, I can absorb more of it, because just I kind of now have gone in and I have the spectacle of it. I really haven't had a chance to like go in, digest, and like find little things that like connect back to other things. I've been only seeing things on the internet, but I like to find more of my own before I start doing that. So as of right now, seeing it only once, I give it a really, 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 really high full price. It's not quite a better than Sex. It's super close though. Just some little nitpicky things. The one thing that really bugged me, the one CG thing that bugged me, and nobody's pointed this out, is towards the end when the Hulkbuster suit goes open, you see
It looks awful.
the superposing is so bad. It looks like a bad Photoshop.
Yeah.
It's
I think it was a
bad.
reshoot, because I don't think that was supposed to happen.
I've been
No.
hearing that complaint, and I don't get it. Like the
Oh, I saw
second time I
twice, yeah.
saw it, I was looking at it. I was like,
Oh, I got
"What
it.
about those
I-
fucking
No,
rhinos?"
Jenny has
I
a
don't
point.
like
Like,
to see
it
it.
is bad.
It's like that's like the only thing, considering like we've been comparing the CGI to Black Panther, which that was definitely one of the bigger drawbacks to Black Panther. The CGI in here, for the most part, is really good, considering like the suits and you're in space and everything. Like, it's really clean. It's really nice. Doctor Strange, everything's really nice. That one little Photoshop-y thing just really catches you off guard, and you're like, "Ooh, that looks bad."
Yep.
Is it
Could've-
Superman mustache back?
Oh,
No.
No.
Okay.
Nothing is that bad.
Man.
Well, I didn't notice it, so I guess it's not that bad.
I just noticed it because I was in the third row and I'm like right in the middle, so I'm like, that doesn't look right. Like, because you just see his head and it looks like it's floating. I don't know. It just looked off to me.
It was bad.
Yeah,
It was It was bad, but yeah. No, and then I love the fact too, as I left the theater, I get out to my car, I'm about to pull out of the parking lot, and everything goes black. Because
Wait,
Thanos
what?
demands your silence.
Oh.
The power went out at the movie theater. Right after I
Oh,
left.
Okay.
Oh.
Apparently a raccoon got into the power lines and knocked the power
Damn it,
cord
Rocket.
The
out.
rocket.
pissed
I
off
can
that
only
Groot is
assume
gone, man.
so. I can only assume it was Rocket, because he was pissed off at what happened. But yeah, they apparently knocked out power. This is like 11 o'clock too on a Friday night, and there's like showings going on. There's still like 3 showings to go.
I would have
And they're out
screamed. I would have screamed.
I
Thanos
know.
got
I'm
the
like,
people.
Thanos demands your silence apparently, and he does. But yeah, no, I got out of that before that happened, thankfully.
No, man, no, but that shit's that's funny. But yeah, everyone seems to fucking like this, and I did too. I mean, just a little reiteration of what we all talked about before. Me, Alan, Ganja, we all love this fucking movie. Or no, actually, Ganja did not get his chance. You talked about it with us in a. I'm so sorry, our own co-host.
Now it's me and you, the duo show.
Yeah, really quick,
Yeah.
Ganja, what'd you feel, man?
Me personally, I can't say anything different. Like y'all pretty much explained how I felt with it, especially with Jenny and Ali's reviews. I can't expand any further. I feel the exact same way, except maybe I have different highlights for certain characters that I was more connected to, such as Spider-Man, Star-Lord, and a few others. But one of the fucking highlights to me was hearing my parents give me a fucking review of this movie, because my folks are huge Marvel fans. My dad was always a comic book geek, and so was my mom. So when I got a call from my dad, and he was like, "Yo, man, you see that new Marvel movie? Y'all gonna talk about the show? Man, fuck Star-Lord. That punk bitch couldn't wait 5 minutes." I was on the phone with my dad. I'm like, "Hold on, what's happening here?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck that Star-Lord punk bitch. He all he had to do was wait 5 minutes. They got the gauntlet. Everyone to live. He had to go act all wrong and shit because of some green pussy." I was like, "God damn, that was a movie."
Is that your dad or Nick texting? Calling
That's
you?
how I don't know if my phone got hacked. I don't know who the fuck that man was, but he got mad as fuck over fucking Star-Lord.
Man, I was mad at first at Star-Lord, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this cliche shit. But then it clicked into my head, why isn't anyone stopping? Oh wait, because Doctor Strange already knows, yo man, I gotta make sure that idiot actually does not solve our problem. Like,
What
'cause
if-
they're about to
what
solve
if-
the problem?
What if Doctor Strange actually kind of egged him on a little bit to make sure that reality happened?
And not egged him out because he saw every single possibility, so he's just like, do no. It's like, okay, Star-Lord's an idiot, so he's gonna basically make it so that Thanos essentially wins. Like that's
What if in the next movie Doctor Strange is like, "Yeah, I fucked up. I saw so many I couldn't remember which one was which."
Yeah, exactly. That would be funny as shit.
Thanos looks at him going, "You motherfucker."
But I mean, yeah, you would get this like a buy it or a better than sex or 5 stars.
No, I give this a full price, high full price. It's almost a better sex, but it still did a lot of those cliche things. The one thing I hate, and I've talked about on the show a lot, is when they do the heroes versus heroes for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that wasn't as bad this time.
Yeah, but there was a
It's like
point
for
where
a short.
the gun to Spidey's head, and he's like, "Yo, we don't work for Thanos. Are you sure? Are you Thanos?" I was like,
Well, Star-Lord's a fucking idiot.
You know who Thanos looks like, motherfucker? Why are you calling him Thanos?"
Yeah,
Oh,
but
you did.
Star-Lord's a
they
fucking
didn't
idiot. Like,
word yet, man.
And I felt like there was a few slow parts of the movie that I felt kind of just dragged on. I know they were based around dialogue, trying to explain things. The Red Skull scene, I felt dragged on too much. I almost passed out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was a little long.
No, I
Yeah.
like that because
That's
you know what's gonna happen in that scene, but I like that they kind of dragged it on because I thought it was gonna be a quick yoink and then throw her, but it's like no, they dragged it on. They're like, okay,
but I knew where the movie was going. I knew he was gonna just gank her ass at some point in the film. But the way the movie just dragged on for me with that dialogue sequence, I think it was more me like I already know what's gonna happen, so I don't care what this whole exchange is. Like, oh, it's the Soul Stem. You got the only character that you claim to actually care about. I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was.
Yeah,
I mean, were you expecting Thanos to turn around and be crying? I did not see
I
that.
thought that was cliche.
Yeah,
I guess
but that happened like at the very end of the dialogue, y'all. We still have
Yeah, we're
5 minutes of
building up.
talking.
true, but no, I get what God's getting at. That entire scene is cliche. There's nothing non-cliche about it. We see. I'm sure Nick could probably name a movie or two that does the exact same thing of the only thing I love. Oh wait, the person right beside me. But I like how they did drag it out a little bit, and it's like, oh, you got to see her slowly realizing it after Red Skull's there, and it's like, okay, they made it work. This cliche scene.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as we approach the situation, because that's the thing, like this discussion about Thanos and Soul Stone, there's some shit that I mean, it contradicts itself a few times, man. Like, it does some Star Wars shit that I got a little irritated by, and I couldn't bring the shit before, because as we talk about the spoilers, and now everything now, we already did reviews, everything from this point on. If you guys don't want to hear spoilers, get the fuck out, because we
kind of already spoiled it.
Yeah, man, when Batman showed up and killed Obi-Wan, man, the whole theater.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Anakin got on his knees for that.
And then Batman went up to him and be like, "You're Lord Vader now."
And then the camera pulled back and they were on a beach, and it was like,
Can I first just say that, like, seeing this with a bunch of people was like the best experience.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, tell him.
Yo, my theater was great. My theater was mixed with all sorts of people. You had everyone, every different culture. A lot of black people, probably because of Black Panther advertising. But no, at that point when like people think that Tony Stark's about to die because Thanos stabs him, all you heard were black people like, "Oh no, not my man Tony! You can't do it like that. You can't no." I'm serious. Black Panther laughed and some guy was like, "What? What? You can't do that!" Like, no, Black Panther, no.
I had something similar happen. It was amazing. Like when Tony died, just an audible gasp in the room.
Gasp! Like the whole theater, you could just feel the clenching. Like,
the reaction when Black Panther left was so extreme. It took me out of the movie, and I started to laugh. Like it was so funny. Like all these people like,
Man, when the movie cut, like the credits cut, like I went like, "Is that out loud? Like, is that seriously how they ended this movie?" So I'm going, "What the hell is that?"
Seriously, yeah. When like Thanos smiled, and then like it was a blank screen, and then the credits roll. Literally, everyone, what? Like a huge what?
I was like, they're actually doing it. Oh shit!
I didn't believe it.
I was like,
I couldn't.
I went through so many emotions at that point. I was just like, this is amazing.
I didn't believe it because I thought they were gonna fix the problem or there's gonna be something, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" Everyone's like, "Oh no, what are they gonna do to fix it? Who's gonna fix it? We ain't fixing shit." Like,
they lost, bitch.
That was like, because you expect it to a certain degree.
I love that they brought Vision back twice just to kill him. Like,
that's my favorite part of the movie.
I love you too. Hold on a second. Come here, bitch.
That's my favorite part of the movie because it's like, I'm dying a heroic, valiant death. Thanos goes, "Nah, bitch, you dead."
You like the feeling of loss? How about you feel that again?
Scarlet Witch going, "Fuck, come on."
I brought you back just to fuck you up.
Yeah, man.
I could have just brought back the stone or brought back all of you.
If they jump to the next movie and Scarlet Witch is bald and she's just like coloring with lipstick and thing on her forehead.
No way, her introduction.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. But no, well, I hate to do this, man. Like now, I guess Alan left me. I'm the fun police now, because.
Don't worry, I have
You always gonna have this spot.
Because yeah, like for me, when it comes to this shit, those deaths kind of fuck things up, especially the ending. And first off, there's some plot holes, or at least like these contradictions. Gamera's backstory itself. Now, the one thing too that to bring up before you even get into this is the fact that
Gamora.
I'm sorry.
Gamera's a kaiju
Godzilla.
The turtle, the giant turtle.
Man, Gamera showing up in this movie, that was weird too.
By the way, they're spelled the same. So, like, I mean, it's kind of like...
Are they?
No, they are not.
No, they're not.
We can look this up right now.
All right.
Gamera is spelled Gamera. Gamora is Gamora.
I trust Jenny. She was hyped.
Yeah, I looked it up right now. She's right.
Gamma radiation.
She knows her Sentai.
No, right here. Like, the only difference is that there's not an O. Where we're...
Yeah, that would make you pronounce it Gamora.
I don't like these characters, so why the fuck would I remember? Like, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but no. But anyways, okay. So Gamora. Sorry about that, folks.
Yes.
Jesus. But the thing is, talking about Gamora, I didn't like her backstory in the sense of like, okay, like for one, I didn't like I like the first Guardians, but the whole Guardian comedy shit, same with Thor Ragnarok. I just didn't like the fact that all these movies were just comedy based. I can't fucking stand that shit. I remember meeting Julian at the New York thing. He was like, "Dude, you like Ragnarok? Dude, it's fucking funny and funny." And I'm like, yeah, the shit, because it's so funny, because it's just some kind of lame ass jokey movie. It's not going to be important leading forward. And this movie, within 10 minutes of Avengers: Infinity War, tells you those last two movies, yeah, don't give a fuck. All the Asgardians dead.
Cool that it leads right from Ragnarok into this.
It literally does, but Nick's point is, it's not so much like it kind of almost negates the ending, because when you watch Thor Ragnarok now, you're like, we made it, guys. Our planet got destroyed. We're gonna go to Earth. Next scene, they're all dead.
But I think Ragnarok develops the Hulk a lot.
Oh god.
I love that you said that. And like
and
I
I
said,
think that was important for the beginning of Infinity War. But go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the last we get of it.
no, because that's another thing too, and we'll get into that later.
It was
'cause-
dope.
Okay, well, let's not interrupt too much because we already.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just really getting spoiled.
Rule number 2.
What? Like, all right.
Rule number. He said
I don't know.
Oh,
I said rule number 2, sir.
Oh, okay, my bad. But yeah, because I don't want this to be too long, so we'll be talking about this for the next fucking 3
Sure.
hours. It's a long movie, and there's a lot of people having different opinions. So yeah, but the main thing to bring up too of this whole entire thing is the fact that with the Guardians, Gamora, I think I said it right this time. She
Yeah,
talks
you
about
did.
the fact that when they go into her superhero backstory, which is a very very default origin fucking story, she's telling, "Oh, I'm the last of my kind. I'm the last of the Zen Horori, or what are they fucking called?"
Oh no, she's not the last, but her parents did get murdered.
Well, didn't she say that literally she was the last one because Thanos killed everybody?
No.
She was the last
No,
one?
only
It's
half.
half the planet. He killed.
Yeah, 'cause he
no, in
said,
Guardians, she says that. In this movie, it's half the planet. That's what I'm saying. And I
Well,
looked
no,
this
I
up
think he
too.
does different things. Isn't that how his sons work or his kids? Like those are the only remainders of those planets, and I think Gamora is the same, but I could be wrong.
Maybe that's the case. No, see that's a very very good point, Julian. Because I was wondering, like, okay, she said, the whole movie keeps telling you over and over again, he only destroys half the planet. But when you go back and watch Guardians, and I looked this up too, because I was like, okay, no, that's some bullshit. Because I thought that he was gonna be a cool villain after she told that shit in Guardians, and they've been building Thanos up to be this badass villain, and then this movie says, you know what? Let's make him sympathetic. Let's change everything that we've been building up to make him like, oh, he's not so bad of a guy. He's kind of cool. And like, yeah, right away, like you find out, okay, yeah, he killed all of her fucking people. Oh wait, no, you didn't. That makes you not give a shit about the first Guardians. Makes you not give a shit about her fucking character. Then it gets to the point too where this whole chase for that glove, the gauntlet, whatever the fuck, ends up becoming a thing that's not so important because of the fact that, like, yeah, he walks up those steps with the Red Skull dude from Captain America. I didn't even know who the fuck that was when I watched the movie, but he kills her, and the big thing about that is that he needs to sacrifice something emotionally to get the Soul Stone. The thing is, though, he's been looking for this glove for so long, this gauntlet. He's been wanting to take over these universes. Even in the flashback where he's literally doing it by brute force, killing half the universe, by having people just fucking slaughter each other like fucking, I don't know, like assassination style. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Why didn't he just sacrifice somebody before Gamora, before then, to get the fucking glove or the
You
gauntlet?
didn't know. As far as the gauntlet, like, is one of those things where he had to go to the dwarves to get it, but he didn't have an idea of where the stones were until apparently, based on what we've seen, it's like right halfway through Thor Ragnarok, he eventually finds the first stone. Then it's like, okay, now I need to go get the glove because now I actually have the stones, because he's been looking for this shit for a while.
Yeah. Okay. And then
I'll say this, Nick. He didn't know where the Soul Stone was because he was sending Gamora to go find that, and the only reason he knew is because he caught Nebula. Nebula replayed the back, and that was how he found the Soul Stone. So he didn't know what was going to cost him to get the Soul Stone at that point.
All right, and that I will definitely take the L on because that was explained. So thank y'all. Like, you guys did that. The movie, I feel like, didn't. But now at least I
It's
get it.
very subtle, dude, but it explains even their whole relationship. Like, there's one line where Thanos says, and I remember it from the first time I saw it. He's like, I know, you used to tell me how much you hated this place every day. And it's like, fuck, this sounds like you guys have hung out a lot.
Yeah.
Everything you hate about yourself, I taught you.
Yeah, no, that too. Yeah, and by the way, very very quotable movie. There's lots of things being said.
I
even
am
Jenny
Steve Rogers.
Again, I still
I will
love
build a better one. Wait, wrong movie.
wrong movie. No, but again, when Thanos goes to, I'm gonna wipe out, half of Earth's gonna be gone. I hope the other half, I hope they remember you. I love that line from the trailer, from the movie, because it's just like, it's not like the villain going, ha ha ha, I'm the villain. It's more like, yeah, I'm doing all this shit, man. I hope they remember your ass. You tried. I know what you're doing. You're doing your job. I'm doing my job.
Yeah, and then it goes back to something, and I'm glad that Julian brought it up. I mean, I didn't even write this down or even have a mental note of this because you brought this up, and I'm like, okay, this is something I had a problem with too. But man, Thor Ragnarok, building the Hulk, all these movies, building Hulk, he's a badass, the fucking whole thing. I gotta tell you, this is the 100% worst Hulk movie. Anything that has to do with Hulk, this is the worst one. They completely destroyed his character and ripped the nuts off of him.
I disagree.
Yeah,
It's-
okay.
I
goes
do
against his
too.
character.
I disagree with y'all too.
I'm sorry, this completely goes against his character. The entire point of the Hulk is that he is this monster that Bruce Banner has to keep under check at all times. That's why he works on the yoga. That's why he's working on keeping control. Banner's entire thing, he's where the complexity comes. How does he control the Hulk? How does he keep the Hulk from doing crazy shit? The Hulk is just it's a controlled nuke. He just goes out and does his thing. This movie, they basically make him seem like he's a fucking child.
But I think it was on the spoiler talk yesterday with Double Toasted where they were saying, and I totally agree with them, where it's like, yo, he's never had issues. He's always just whipped it out, and everyone's been like,
Yeah,
know, like,
because he spent a whole movie controlling it.
yeah. And then this time he got spanked, and he's embarrassed.
Sir,
about
he
it.
got
And I
asked.
like
He got
that.
That's
ass
not the
kicked like a
character,
man.
though. Imagine at the next movie, Captain America's just sitting down going, I don't want to, Bucky dead.
Well,
But,
dude, that's
like,
the point.
but-
Is he evolved into that character.
That's not evolution, that's regression.
No, it's not. It's evolution.
Alan.
because you're
Alan.
You're literally saying that you want him to be a nuclear bomb. You want from Ragnarok and establish that this is a really prideful fucking monster who cares about his strength.
Yeah, but
rather
that was
than
all a different situation because they're taking that for the Planet Hulk comic, where as a result of him fighting in this gladiatorial ring for years, he started to kind of calm down and be not so much,
2 years.
uncontrollable, but he started being calm.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's
it's
what he
different.
did in
But now he's a
Ragnarok.
baby, though. Oh,
It's
I
a
got
difference
lost.
in the comic. They didn't take everything from the comic, but what they established is that the Hulk has literally never lost a fight. So when he finally does get his ass handed to him, he doesn't know how to react, and he's like, "Yeah,
He gets
I'm
angry.
out."
That's his thing.
No,
No,
but-
he-
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not like that in the
Maybe it's-
actual movies.
and I
The whole
think
thing is that the
He's
more you beat
all
him, the
the
angrier
time.
he gets.
He's embarrassed. He
And-
doesn't know how to take
It's not
it.
the Hulk, though.
Alan, if
He's
you
the
think about
mentality
it,
of a 5-year-old.
if
Okay,
you
well,
Yeah.
think
here's
about
the-
it,
Bullshit.
well, I'll do this to be in the middle because no one's gonna agree. But like,
Hold on. I'm liking this fighting, man. Hold on.
well, no,
Fuck you.
I do, but like someone's gonna get the feelings hurt. Like I don't know, like somebody gonna get yelling at somebody else. But like the thing is, what Alan's trying to say too, and I disagree with Alan, but I see his point too. Is like I agree, that was horrible for Hulk, yes. But the thing is, though, when it comes to that whole thing with Hulk, is like, no, that's not Hulk because this is not our Hulk. Like I hate to, and I know it sounds like a joke, like that's not our president, but it's not our Hulk, and that's the thing that sucks. Is that 'cause
Yeah.
I love Hulk. But the Hulk in this fucking movie, and I know like Julian's probably gonna tell me like, hey man, well evolution of the character. Well, this evolution is, dude, Hulk shows up for 5 minutes technically, and even though he does these flashes throughout the
Yeah.
whole scene, where they what?
what is the root of the Hulk's character? What is the character that inspired that character?
Anger.
There's a character that is based on. It
Oh,
is
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
and Mr. Hyde. And we have never seen a character who is like that, who has like a disagreement with their other personality this
see
way.
that
Like
all
it's
the
like
time.
they don't want it to come out. And I thought that was
But
really
that's the
interesting.
thing. It completely goes against what the Hulk's character is.
It's
'Cause
a
when you-
thing
when
of
you
the
see in
Hulk
the
we've
other
never
movies, like
seen.
the more you beat him down, the angrier he gets, and that's where his power comes from. The angrier the Hulk is, the stronger he is. That's the whole thing. So when he gets beat down, he comes right back up because in the Incredible Hulk
But
movie,
he had a chance. With Thanos, he probably got spanked in a matter of minutes and was just broken and
Seconds.
beat on the ground. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and then
And he
he's angrier. He should be less controlling
Well,
and
that's-
more.
no,
pissed
because
off.
he was embarrassed. He was
That's
embarrassed
not
that
the
he got
Hulk.
whooped.
That's a child.
Well, that's the thing,
That's
Alan.
the point.
Yes.
Hulk's not a child.
Alan, hold on, y'all. Let me get my point across because y'all been yelling over me. Let me get my shit in because I'm gonna beat his ass too.
Sorry.
Let
Sorry.
me get
I'm
my
ready.
let me get my licks in, y'all. But Alan, you're forgetting the point that with Ragnarok, it's just really established that this is kind of like a mentally handicapped person with almost like a big brute strength who loves to fight. So his emotional state is not like 100% like rational thought. And we kind of established like he's been that kind of Thor Planet Hulk where he's kind of just been tamed. He's been on that planet for 2 years until he got his ass kicked by by Thor and then Thanos. He's starting to realize he is not the most powerful thing in the universe, and it's starting to affect his pride, which is
That
something
goes
that's
against his
also
character,
about
though.
Hulk.
No, it
Because-
doesn't.
The other thing is that
That
his
is-
Hulk is strongest there is. Nobody can beat Hulk. So when he gets beat, and this does happen in the comics, he doesn't go sit there and cry in a corner. He gets back even angrier at him.
Alan,
But
are
this
you
is-
talking comic book or are you talking
I'm
Marvel
talking
movies?
both because because again in the movies like that completely destroys his character. The whole Batman killing things destroys Batman's character. This destroys the Hulk's character because until
No, it
then
doesn't.
No,
It
it doesn't.
it completely changes the character. That is no longer the Hulk.
Because he's not. Because here's the thing.
That's
You're
just
saying,
that's just big green guy.
hold on. Let me finish. You're saying he has only been angry, but the thing is, when you seen even with not Mark Ruffalo, what's the other guy from
Edward Norton.
With the Edward Norton movie, he was the Hulk, but he wasn't fucking angry every time he was hanging out with that one chick he has a hard on for, and he was doing a soft, like almost like a small child in a relationship with the kid, just trying to figure out things.
But he never backed down, though.
That's the thing.
What bothers me is he's backing down. Like, imagine the next Captain America movie, he just sits there and cries in the corner because
it's an evolution of his character. He's not just an angry monster anymore.
That's not evolution. That's regression. You're training the character from being badass to only being badass.
No, that is literally the definition of evolution.
No, because Alan, see what they're saying. They're not saying that it's an evolution of him physically. They're saying it's an evolution of him in a written sense. Like I see what they're trying to say to you, and I'm like, you're saying that it broke the character for you. For them, not so much. You know what I mean? But like. And I agree with you, Alan, in the sense of like, yeah, like it was horrible for him to regress to being like chicken shit over Thanos. But the thing is, when we seen this character, and let's just stick to the movies. Let's just stick to what they told us in the movies as canon, to what we're seeing right now on screen, etc. The thing is, he just got his ass kicked in his own movies twice, way worse than a little boxing match with Thanos, and came back. That's why Alan is mad, because the thing is, we have been told by this own story, this own canon, the current one, that this is not what he does. This is 100%. It's not a comic thing. It's not a TV show thing. It's not a whole movie. It's not uncanon. This is literally.
I disagree, Nick, because in Ragnarok, it shows he's a prideful son of a bitch when he doesn't want to help Thor, when he's acting like a jerk throughout the whole scene, like, oh, you're what's his name, friend? You're not my friend. You never talk to me. And then constantly insulting Thor about his strength. It shows that Hulk is a prideful motherfucker in these series. And if a prideful motherfucker like that, who's beaten everything that's come his way so far, literally got 1-2 punch, kick him down like a bitch. Like I've never seen the Hulk. He got beat down like a fucking MMA fight, Nick. It was amazing.
Yeah, and why wouldn't he?
The thing is, that Hulk that you're talking about is that angry fucking monster. It's established that Hulk's gone. We now have just a Hulk that's all about strength and about thing. We're probably gonna get the Hulk you're talking about in the next one. And
or they'll just kill him, because Marvel does that more often than they don't. But one of my things, it's like, yeah, he's prideful. He's super prideful in Ragnarok. But it's one of those things where it's like, he's still always willing to go to the fight. He's still willing to always fight for something. The reason he doesn't want to leave is because he's going to leave a fight. He's going to leave the gladiatorial and no longer fight as often as he's going to. But as soon as there's a fight going on, but the thing is, it changes the character completely from what we established in the movies. It almost makes Bruce Banner, like, the complexity of the Hulk came from Bruce Banner half. The Hulk's half was controlling this controlled nuke. That's what made the dynamic work. This just completely makes them do two different characters.
That's why this is an evolution, man, because it's bringing them together more as one person and making it more complex.
Yeah.
Like,
and I will say that makes sense. I mean, like I said, I mean, we can't agree or whatever, but like I will say that does make sense.
This is kind of this is a decisive point, and a lot of people like, either people think this broke the character or people like this character. There's no middle ground. It's two sides.
Yeah. Imagine Captain America in the next movie doesn't want to fight. Everyone in this call will be like, that's some fucking bullshit. That's Captain America.
If you use the background of what happened in Avengers, it does make fucking sense. His spirit was broken. He lost one of his best friends from the future. His best friend he just got reunited with from the past. He failed his mission. His actual goal as a hero to save the world did not accomplish. Everyone's fucking dead. Half the universe is gone. I wouldn't be blamed if we get like 30 minutes of just Captain America just listening.
Oh, just being a baby on the floor? Okay, I can't wait to see the bib and him crying in the next fucking.
What do you want him to be like, non-reacting to all his friends?
I wanted to sit there and be like, and do the, get up, be like, okay, you know what, we gotta fucking solve this. Be Captain America and do your job and solve this shit. Don't just sit there and cry because your fucking best friend's dead.
Yeah, because Ganja, to Alan's point is like, this is a movie. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, I mean, you want to say, like, oh, well, it'll be realistic. Well, it's like, dude, if we're going for realistic, this whole ending should not have happened. This whole fucking movie should not have happened. If we're being realistic. So let's just say this is.
Okay, I hate that idea because you're trying to. The thing is, I'm talking about realistic within the reality of the movie setup itself, not in terms of like outside reality of me and you and like water, H2O, and all that bullshit. No, I'm talking about within the physics they set up in the movie. It's not realistic in the terms of like. I like the idea of these characters actually going through this stuff and actually having a real emotion towards it. Just because there's gods and fantasy characters around doesn't make it that these characters can't have actual human emotions.
True. I see your point too. I mean, and Julian's point, Jenny's point, Allie's point, like, yeah, I see all you guys' points. But for me personally, like, it just maybe. And here's the thing: I've admitted many a time, I like dumb shit. I like fucking boom, like Michael Bay. I fucking love Michael Bay.
Sure.
Like, sorry, you know. So
Yeah.
and I love I love Hulk. I fucking love the Hulk. I like him more than Spider-Man, Batman, everybody. And the last fucking 3 movies, and yes, I'm counting. No, actually, not Age of Ultron. That was good. But the first Avengers, horrible. I fucking hate the Hulk in that movie.
Really,
Like-
that's one of my favorite ones. Like,
Yeah, he has
I
one of his
disagree
best
where they made it
moments
work.
ever. Like
Sorry,
his thing with Loki. You
yeah,
don't like that?
the 10 fucking seconds. Yeah, that was great. It was a great GIF. Like, you know, fuck,
It is a good gift.
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
We'd use it right now if we could.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Is like that shit. No, I don't like it. But anyways, moving on from that, is that ending. Look, I know it was emotional, and it got me too. There was a part where I was ready to cry when Iron Man died, and the person that's watching next to me is fucking cheering, like, "Yeah, get that motherfucker!" I'm like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" Like, you know what I mean? It hurt my
Iron
goddamn
Man's
feelings.
not dead.
No, I know, but like when you get stabbed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I was like, whoa, did you see a different version? Do I have to go again?
I don't know. There's enough shit in the trailer that's not in the movie. There
No,
might
I
be a
didn't-
different person running around.
Yo, you sure? I didn't know Valkyrie's dead until I got told by 90s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
Wait,
know.
what?
So is
She's not.
Valkyrie dead? Because
No.
Yeah.
people are
She's
saying
not.
she is.
She is not.
I
The
didn't
Russo
see-
brothers confirmed it. They said that she's like doing what Wong is doing, looking after Thor's books or whatever.
Because it's
I have a feeling-
unclear.
They probably, like, her and Korg probably took the half of Asgard that is not dead and, you know, got them somewhere safely.
yeah, they're saying
Yeah,
that
but
that's
wasn't
like a
dead?
scene or something.
Wasn't Thanos standing over her body?
That's what a friend of mine was saying, that like by her feet, that's where Valkyrie is.
If
Okay.
they show only her feet, like the fucking Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz, that is some bullshit. They
Hey
need
man,
to
maybe
show
she
me
wanted
her
to pay
face.
raise.
It made it implied that there was never 2 ships. There's always just one ship at the end of the movie. It's implied that basically all the Asgardians except for Thor are dead.
Yeah. Well, the thing
Loki's
is-
still alive, by the way. I'm
No,
calling
he's
it
not.
right now. Loki is still alive.
No.
Those
No,
three
he's
guys
not.
say otherwise.
Nah, man, he's died. He's died before.
Not like
That
this.
was pretty.
Come
That
on,
was
he
pretty
died in
final.
Thor 2.
Dude, his
Yeah, but-
eyeballs were coming out his face.
He did some magic trick then. Like, you actually saw his dead body, like, bleeding. like,
Nah, man.
That's
They made a
different.
point to see the blood run to his eyes.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
that
do
is
that.
like, that's a permanent death, I feel.
Besides,
Nah,
like, the
he's still
director
alive.
just-
He's somewhere. He's
Alan,
looking in the back.
Now, you know
Besides the
Tom
director-
Hiddleston doesn't want to keep doing this. He wants to be more like a dramatic actor anyway. So,
Yo.
like, he's
Yeah.
done
I will
with
say-
playing
I will
Loki.
say one thing to
Besides
just
the
knock us out.
director just grabbing the camera and just looking into him and be like, yeah, he's dead.
Short of the
Yeah,
director.
seriously.
Short of the director saying, "Yo, man, he actually dead," like they did with Quicksilver.
No, but one thing I will say though too is just to put this out there right away. Like I know
What's
everyone's like, "Well, I don't know if he's dead or not." Keep in mind that Disney what Disney does, just like the Force. 2 words for you: time stone. He's probably still alive. There's never.
Man, I hope
Yeah,
he
that's
stays
the question
dead.
of what they're gonna do
You
with
know
it.
what I thought about that? That
Time
type of outcome. Even if they do use the time stone to reverse time, Thanos would still have the stones. Like, wouldn't he be able to just do exactly like the same? Like, he would still be, even if they killed him, he would come back to life.
The time stone, from what we've seen, takes a lot of not a lot of energy and a lot of focus to do small things like what Doctor Strange is doing in his movie. Because they kept saying in Doctor Strange, where it's like, "Yo, you can't keep fucking with the fabric of reality; you'll break it all."
Yeah.
They are not going to be able
Yeah.
to do this with one stone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that too. That makes sense. Like,
The only thing they could do is they can maybe get another gauntlet, try to get it back, and hope there's someone that can hold it.
I
But
thought
we-
that the rumor was that like all the people who live, they live because they're going to have to be sacrificed for later, and then they'll bring back all the people who died.
The other half,
Except for
okay, the
Gamora.
Soul
The
Stone.
your half.
It's gonna be the Soul Stone, 100%, because they basically spend like 10, 15 minutes in this movie to get the Soul Stone, and then completely forget about it.
dang,
like-
so you're gonna stab him
Well-
twice.
But
And you
moving
gotta
on.
think. I'm sorry. One last thing about the Soul Stone. You gotta think of that one last scene where Thanos says, "What did it cost? Everything is in the Soul Realm or whatever Soul World, whatever you want to call it, in the gem." You gotta think that that's gonna have a big part in the second movie too.
100%.
Yeah,
I wonder
okay.
if Sam Witwicky is there from Transformers 2.
Yeah, they're in Robot Heaven right now. No, but moving on to, and by the way, like, and this is another thing that's as annoying to me too, is like this is a big scene that I was really hyped for. This never showed up, and the part of why I got mad too is this whole movie has balls, like crazy balls, like they're holding, and it's really, really action packed, and then like yeah, I know in the trailer that Hulk's gonna show up at some point, and then he doesn't. That was another thing I got mad about too. That's something I meant to bring up earlier, but we were all arguing.
Yeah.
But
True.
that shit just kills it too, because I'm just like, yo, like this movie is really doing this stupid fucking gimmick. When every time it happens, it's not like a character building of like, oh god, Hulk's about to come out. It's very serious. No, it's jokes. I mean, you might as well fucking put one of those flutes in there, like.
But
like,
you want to fault the movie for like fucking with your expectations and making the experience of the movie a surprise? Like,
yeah, I'm wrong. But
But it's a surprise that, like, just because it's a surprise doesn't necessarily mean it's like good thing, because we expected to see kind of either the Hulkbuster and then hopefully seeing the Hulk in that movie. I'm not saying this should have been the third Hulk movie. It's just I wanted to see more. That's my favorite character, so it's like, yeah, I have more of a connection to them.
What about the shot though with Captain America? Because that was the biggest surprise to me, because we thought that he held back Thanos with 2 on the gauntlet, but then when he had the whole motherfucker and he held him back. Dude, that was some hype
That was great.
shit.
No, yeah, but like again, I don't hate this movie just by what people are probably thinking in the chat. I probably love this movie as much as y'all. It's not my favorite comic book movie. I still think Civil War was, for just the interactions of the characters, because you don't get a lot. Like, you do get a lot of dialogue, but like you don't get a lot of them. Just like, this movie's always something happening. It's always something happening, and that's great and all. But like when I compare,
No, is this real? Ruthless in the chat said, "Wait, you guys don't know? They shot a version of everyone dying to keep it from being spoiled, so everyone is also alive."
That's a
is also
Negan joke.
dead.
That's a Walking Dead joke.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But anyway, but yeah, like I was saying, like I don't like if I
I
compare
don't
this,
doubt it.
if I compare this
Well,
Civil War, for instance, where I love the action in there more, and I like some of the dialogue more. Like, Civil War is still my favorite one, but this is still a really, really good fucking movie. And I like what they did with the villain. I always hated that some of the other villains I'm just gonna stand around and monologue this whole time. It's like, no, he gets shit done. He always has something to do. He's always on camera. He's always getting shit done. That's why I think Thanos, like, he's one of my favorite villains, because he's always getting something done.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to bring up really quick too, because my biggest gripe about this as well, and like I said, we all love this fucking movie, and the one thing that I had to complain about too, as far as the deaths go, is just right before the deaths, when he gets the time stone and he goes to Wakanda and that whole big fight's going, from the beginning of that scene towards the very, very end, until Thanos comes in through the portal, people are fighting off everybody. There's Thanos' armies over there, and everyone's fucking busy. I mean, literally, even Scarlet Witch had to like run out the fucking room for all this shit. Shuri even gets knocked down. I mean, it's crazy. And all of a sudden, right when Thanos comes out, it's like, and I've made this metaphor before, or reference before, but remember when you used to play with your toys and you have like 10 action figures, and then you only had 2 hands, so you can only control 2 characters at a time? This is one thing that was weird, where the movie just says, fuck everything that's going on, let's just have all the heroes just stop and focus in an assembly line towards this portal when Thanos comes out.
Well, that's the thing is, actually, I noticed it only the second time I saw it. Right before that happens, you see them blow up all the things where those aliens are coming from. So technically, they stopped that threat. And I'm not saying that, it's all like, it's solid there. But yeah, they kill most of them, and then, they move on to like the other thing.
True.
And it was kind of in that slow-mo Zack Snyder mode where it's like, oh, things are happening in the background.
No, I like that, because again, like, people were coming in, because you say assembly line, it's not like everyone just kind of showed up and got their ass kicked. Like, people were still coming in from the fight, because Thor and Scarlet Witch dealt with most of the threats, so you still had all the Wakandan warriors just doing their thing. So it made sense that like people were just kind of coming in. It's like, oh shit, he's there. A bunch of people already kind of down. But I like that, where it kind of shows like it kind of led up, where it's like it's almost like bracing you for how bad, like not bad, but like how this ending's gonna be, how dark this ending's gonna be.
And that's the thing I was gonna say is, with that, every hero goes there. So now that they, like what Julian said earlier, they got rid of all those guys, right? Because it can happen in 2 different ways. Like, this is bad in either this way, or bad, very bad in the other way, and we'll get into that later if we're going to challenge this, which I know you motherfuckers, everybody in this call is going to challenge me on this shit. But, because that's what y'all do.
Oh, boy.
Hey, I just fought off the Hulk, so.
Yeah, but the thing is like, when this happens, he uses the Reality Stone, I think it's Reality Stone, and he's like trapping people in certain things, making sure that they can't fucking fight back, they're all trapped. And then he kills Vision twice, which was fucking hilarious. Love that scene. But then all of a sudden, Mr. who can take all this damage and fight a bunch of people, Thor just comes out of nowhere. And I swear to God, this is like the 12th to 15th fucking time that they did the last minute superhero fucking save trope. And I'm like, dude, this happened like so many times in this fucking movie. It was annoying the fuck out of me. And Thor comes in last minute, hits him with the fucking axe. Yeah. And literally, and it was a cool scene. I'm not even going to complain about that scene. But then for him to not use a time stone then, or push Thor away, how was that enough to fucking kill him? And also, too, like, where was Thor when everybody, you just can't fucking fly from God knows how far away. Where was he? Just so many questions in that particular scene, and the only reason why they did that is because it started off with Thor, so they had to end it off with Thor. Fucking annoying.
The weapon that they spent a majority of the movie getting the Thanos killing weapons, as Thor literally says. So it's like that weapon is probably one of the few things that can legitimately hurt Thanos. So, and the thing is he can do his kind of super jump and mix in with the magic of the hammer and allow him to actually kind of fly around a little bit. So it was not that far away because I think Scarlet Witch is in the battle and runs into the forest. So it's like the forest is right beside the fight. Like it's right beside the fight, so it's not that much of a
like. Is this established in a lot of the Thor lore already that he can transport to other planets and whatnot at a whim using his magical power? So that's not out of the realm of the character's powers.
And it controls the Bifrost, so he was able to get to Earth no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Because I don't pay attention to
and then movies. Like when you're talking about like him, like Alan's point about the Thanos destroying weapon, there was also a dialogue between him and Peter Dinklage. Like this is like the only thing that's almost as powerful as the gauntlet itself with the Infinity Stone. So like they established like there's a reason at the end he's able to withstand the power of the Infinity Stone and stab Thanos. But to go on your point, he is an idiot. That's why Thanos mentions you should aim for my head because
or the hand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was an annoying thing too. And then, like I said, like when that happens, and this whole movie's been pretty unpredictable. I didn't predict Loki was gonna die. I didn't predict anything that happened. This movie like kept surprising me over and over and over again, except for the tropes. But then this movie, that ending, pretty much guarantees a particular fucking storyline plot for the second one. Those people are not dead. Spider-Man's not dead. All these people that turn to ash are not dead. They're gonna.
We're not sure
back.
what the consequences though. Like that's the thing. We have no idea what the consequences are. But one of the things it's like, okay, we know to a certain degree the plot of the next one has to be solve the fucking problem. We have a problem, solve it. We have no idea what the consequences are going to be. And also one of the biggest things we're saying, like, Steve Rogers is going to sit there and cry for the fucking rest of the movie. What's the plan? What the fuck are we going to do? The Infinity Gauntlets the Infinity Gauntlet's gone. We have no idea what the Infinity Stones are. What the hell is the plan?
Officially, how many movies are in between until the next Avengers?
Two.
Just two?
Yeah, because it's what? Ant-Man, which comes out at some fucking point.
Ant-Man and Marvel, that's it?
Marvel, yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, fuck, I don't know what's...
Well, okay, Captain Marvel is going to be the only one, because that end stinger of that movie is going to lead into her doing something and helping out.
I'm going to let you right now what the stinger is going to be for Ant-Man. It's going to be something where they're having a good time, the family's all picking it. He's finally got a relationship with the Wasp, and they're just all having
Wasp, I don't feel good.
Suddenly he's like, what?
And then someone's going to disappear.
And then suddenly everyone starts disappearing, and Ant-Man watches his family disappear on him.
I that's probably what's going to be. But it's like, but what's the plan, though? Like, Steve and Thor, it's like, what the hell are we going to do now?
Vacuum.
What's Tony going to do? Tony's still in space.
Oh. But...
Go grab your Hoover is what you're going to do.
Man.
That was one of the best jokes God just told. That was fucked up.
But as much as the problem with the Hulk, and I still had little problems with some pacing and stuff like that. This is still one of probably the best movie that came out this year. And little things that I love that the movie never talks about. And I love this because I'm a scientist. So when Thor, I didn't notice this until Thanos gets cut by Tony on the Titan planet, and I was like, why is his blood red? And then my brain clicked, oh, there's oxygen on that planet. That's why nobody's wearing a mask on that planet, because that's all air there. That's why he bleeds red, because he has heme in his blood. Like I was like, the scientist in my head is going, "Oh shit! I can't believe they got that."
Yeah, I don't. Damn.
Science.
Who cares?
I care.
I mean, hey,
somebody thought. Somebody had.
That's what you just did on webcam for us.
Somebody had half a thought of like, "Well, why is everyone here breathing? Oh, there's oxygen on this planet. How do we show that? How do the characters get bleed red?" Like somebody was thinking in the fucking booth.
He's gonna cover her with science. Science.
Someone from Marvel's going to hear this and go, oh, shit, I didn't realize that. Hey,
we just ran out of budget, and we didn't have enough dialogue to put, why are we breathing here?
I think that's a pretty impressive thing. I don't know. I'm just too
stupid. It's a little thing
like that. But, yeah, like I said, man, like, watch this movie again. I don't like it as much as I did the first time. And I watched this a few times. Like, I actually go back and watch the just the fight scenes, which, by the way, you know what else I do that for? Transformers. Like, there's a reason why, folks.
Okay.
Don't compare the two.
You like action.
Yeah, no, exactly. I like action because the rest of this movie, if it's not fucking exploding or doing some crazy shit, it's not that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that the dialogue in this is fucking fantastic and sets the bar very fucking high. And DC needs to take some fucking notes.
Oh,
'Cause
DC's
there
dead
isn't-
now.
There is not one glass of Granny's sweet peach tea in this fucking movie. Not a one. And
Or
there's
that-
fucking jokes throughout.
Yeah, I don't know. like I said, man. I mean, I see you guys were all happy and shit. I don't want to fucking ruin anyone's mood, but it's just like, yeah, there's certain things like that ending. I gotta tell you, man. Like, I am so sick of bad endings to fucking movies. I really am. Like, I'm so fucking sick of it.
But the bad guy won, dude. It's awesome.
And man, oh, did he? Because he's the good guy. Because he's sympathetic. Oh, so sweet of a man to do.
Oh
He's
my
like
god,
fucking
he
universe.
is the villain though. Like,
He's not
Yeah.
like he's sympathetic in the sense, not so much sympathetic,
He's
but
really
like
sympathetic. People keep comparing him to Killmonger, like they're even slightly comparable with sympathy and shit. No, not even fucking close. Like,
I
I
think
understand his.
sympathy is the wrong word,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Sympathy is the wrong
Yeah.
word, but it's understandable. Like you see where his point of view is. It's like because he mentions like, yeah, you know that planet I wiped out half of your people. There's a paradise there. My planet that I didn't get to do that. It's a fucking wasteland. It looks like Jakku from Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Like, it's like it's fucked up. Where it's like you get from his point of view because that's a problem we're dealing with right now. Of like, yeah, we're gonna run out of resources soon, but no one wants to talk about the problem with that. Where Thanos is like, wipe out half of them, the other half will learn from the mistakes and fix the fucking problems. Like he's not like, oh, get rid of all the poor. It's like, no, get rich, poor. Who gives a shit?
I actually think Thanos is a better villain because he doesn't have the sympathy of Killmonger. He's
Yeah.
more of a brute evil force rather than some guy that's just trying to correct a wrong that he perceived happened to him and his people. Whereas Thanos is like, no, I'm just gonna do this because this is what needs to happen and no one else sees it but me. I think that's more of a fucking villain because that guy is extra focused.
He's
It's
almost
not
like
coming from this
Ultron
dark-
level.
no,
yeah,
but
it's on that
emotionally-
Ultron level
But emotionally, why does not Thanos does this? Emotionally,
because he saw his
because
whole
he's-
planet destroyed.
Yeah, he's seen what happens when like we're dealing with the problem on Earth currently right now, where it's like, yo man, we're gonna run out of resources, people are gonna mass starve, but nobody wants to sit there and be like, what's there? And in his head, it's like I was sitting there in a room full of politicians and lawyers saying, well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And I'm like, yo, let's wipe out half the people, rest will be fine. Everyone's like, you're crazy. And then it's like, hey, we're standing in the wreckage of people not following my decision.
And
So
then
his emotional reason is because he saw everyone he knows die.
And then Killmonger, it was more specific. He in Thanos' dialogue, he's like, I want it to be fair as possible. I want the rich, the poor, the old, the young, the middle, everyone, half. That's how I was gonna do it. But I was a madman. And Killmonger, he was coming more from a place of like basic revenge, where he has this more fucked up idea of altruism in Thanos' head, where he thinks he's a god and could do this because he thinks this is the most correct way. Whereas Killmonger could be reasoned with to a certain
you gotta look at the chat. God, this one's for you, buddy.
Gotta check that out.
Thanos is a
Chat.
communist.
man.
He's the means of production.
He did. He sure did see those means of production, boy.
Oh, it's the Fist 2 with the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, man.
It all makes sense.
Look,
This is communist propaganda.
I only agreed when he was talking about it was supposed to be a fair genocide. After that, it was still genocide, man. You fucking wrong.
It's just genocide with extra steps.
Basically. Oh, shut the fuck up! That goddamn joke.
It is. It's just genocide with extra steps.
Oh,
So I can
man.
somewhat feel better.
So, anyways, no, but once again, like anybody, or well, anyone that reviewed it last week, like anyone's opinion changed. Like Alan, did your opinion change from this movie watching it a second time, or third, or fourth, or whatever?
It didn't change second time, but I think it kind of I liked it a little bit better because I was noticing things the first time. Because one of the things that bothered me, the reason it's not like better than sex full price type thing, like it's a low full price, but the reason it's not higher is because the kind of action that I like is hand to hand, kung fu fighting type kind of stuff, and this was more like the big spectacle superhero action. And I was like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as something like Civil War. Like the hotel fight is fucking amazing. I still love it. I didn't really get that. So that's why it lowers my rating, but like it didn't really change. Just like I started noticing things more and more. That's when I noticed the blood thing. That's when I noticed some of the other stuff, the dialogue and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, this movie is still the same rating. But I enjoyed it more the second time. But definitely, if for some reason you still you haven't seen this movie in theaters and are watching our review, watch it in theaters. Like it'll make your experience that much better seeing an audience that hasn't seen it the first time, and just how much people are either gasping or having a great time.
And same question to you, Allie. Watching this a second, probably with you third. I don't know how many times you watch this fucking movie. But yeah, like, did it change for you, better for worse?
No, I still have the same feelings towards it. I think it's, yeah, I totally get like a lot of your points. What are your criticisms about? I just didn't bother me that much. So I just found myself having a blast, and it's just more shocking that Marvel would be ballsy enough to really like go through with making something this dark, and it just made me like so happy that finally a villain wins. I just always wanted to see a villain win, and it felt like for the most part that would never happen, especially with Marvel, and they did it. And you know what? I can't really fault Thanos either, because you understand his side to it. So
Yeah.
I think it's such a well-made, like, Russo brothers can do no wrong at this point. I think they just did a like triple strike with all their movies, like in a good way. Like all their Marvel films are like some of the best out of the series. Why are you laughing?
BBM in the chat.
Finally, a flick and chill. I'm not ripping out the pieces of my non-existent hairline.
Oh.
Oh, that shit's hilarious. BBM, I fucking love you for that shit, dude. You are fucking hilarious.
But to bring it back to what Ali's saying, go back and rewatch the movie, and every single dark scene, every horrific scene, especially at the ending, just keep thinking Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
When Peter Parker's like, I don't want to go, Disney.
Yeah.
Disney signed the check for this movie.
When Loki gets the little life choked out of him and his neck broken, the whole logo pops up.
Disney.
When Vision dies and gets his head ripped open, Disney.
Exactly.
Oh,
Julian, by the way, are you gonna go see this movie again with your movie pass?
So here's what I do for that.
Yeah,
I
what
hope
did
it
you do?
doesn't incriminate me. I'm gonna buy a ticket for a different movie, and I'll send them the picture of the ticket to that movie, and I will just walk into Avengers.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're gonna sneak in.
That's what I call
people
fun.
used to do.
I've been getting into movies since I was like 12 years old. I did it like 2 weeks ago. That's how I
Didn't-
saw Isle of Dogs again. Like I just watched a movie. I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk over there and see another one.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna start doing that shit. Like, fuck
Like,
it.
dude, I've been doing that since high school. Like I don't give a shit. Like I
Oh
wanna see
yeah,
it.
yeah, because what are they gonna do if they catch you? It's like I still have a paid movie ticket for this right time.
Oh,
so-
No, with the name Ganja Group, I'm not
bathroom.
gonna comment on what's legal and not legal, what you should do or not do.
Exactly.
Your name is illegal. Your name's illegal in 49 states.
Oh, but you know what though? You know what's not illegal, Ganja?
What?
That fucking segue. Oh no, Facebook gaming
Oh, it
show.
should be.
Wow.
Oh,
I knew that's what was coming. I was like, let's hear it, Nick. Let's hear that.
in certain countries, we might be censored by it's become. I mean, I fucked that all up. But
Damn.
Come.
You can try again.
come, Chameleon, down to the Friday show, the Untitled Video Game Show, every Friday, 7:30 CST time. We love to hang out with you guys, play some video games, do some bullshit, have some conversation, have some good times. Me and my friend Birdman here, we'll get you guys escorted to the game land, bright and perfectly fine. Alan, tell these people about the after hours we'll be doing this week.
Well, since today is Wednesday, we normally don't do an after hours. But for starting
Oh, no, I'm
this,
talking about Saturday, sir.
I was getting to that.
We don't know. Well, we don't know yet, actually. Like the thing
Yeah,
is,
I was getting to it, but what it is as per usual, me and Nick, we always discuss this beforehand. Unless anything has changed, we will be doing the satire night. Unless anything changes between now and Wednesday, implying I don't get shot by one of y'all for my opinion on something. But we will give you more information on Saturday, as per usual, Ganja. Like I was going to finish before you cut me off.
Damn right, you better finish that shit, boy, and finish that salad you were eating earlier.
oh man,
It is.
and
It's delicious.
wait, what? And then also, people go watch Double Toasted because I had to tell you.
Damn,
that.
we call right in time too.
No, actually, like for real, they are actually about to start in I think about 2 minutes or so. So yeah, go watch them. They will begin momentarily, just like how we are for fucking an hour before we actually start. 'Cause we're always late. But yeah, check them out. And then also, like I said, Friday, then Saturday, Midnight Chat Tag, we're gonna be reviewing a lot of movies that are not new. Fuck L so fucking much, and Grease, and Batman Ninja. I hate all
Yeah,
three of those
I
fucking
honestly don't
movies.
like cooking with it. It's really just not healthy.
Hey, I heard Grease comes together like boo, but I bought push, jump in the sun.
Oh Jesus Christ, I'm out of here.
Are you
People
saying
think I'm
Kanye
watching
right
all
now?
that
What are you
good shit.
doing?
God damn it, that song is so stupid.
Scoop to the poots the woot.
Oh man.
No.
That's
That,
it.
that makes
Fuck
Ja
Kanye
Rule
West.
spelling mistakes.
Attack the goddamn chat. Like I'm not even gonna
Poop
say.
to the scoop to the whoop to the scoop.
Man,
End this fucking
I don't
show.
know who Snap his fingers
Yeah.
for that one.
Poop to the
People actually like that.
That's all, folks.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bye.
That's all, fuck.